All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on, the audio's quiet. I know. All right, how's the audio? How's the audio? Is it good? I hope so. I hope so. We are here. We're back. I know it's been like a week. I've been very fucking busy. It's been a difficult week, but I'm here. Good audio, based. Yeah, it's been a week, folks. It's been a week. There have been many developments. Um, One sec. Hold on. Let me just fix my camera. One sec. Yo, thank you, Autism420, for the 99 cents. Misty Pookie Tanner gave $2 before I went live. Um, what's up, people? What's up? I know, close up shot. My hair's not doing great today. It's okay. Yeah, I've been pretty inconsistent with the streams. I've had a lot of fucking work to do. There have been there have been many things that happened this week, but oh, 90, sorry. $10. I'm tired. That's super generous. Thank you so much. Still looking horrid. Only for you, baby girl. Only for you. Um, for those of you that don't know about Cheeto, he's a guy that I've known for about 6 years' time. If you listen to his narrative events, he'd tell you we're best friends. We've been like not cool and cool, like on and off. In the past, it was over like petty beef. But like a quick summary, I came back in 2000, or I came back to streaming in 2024, and not long after, I was catching up on his debate with Lyrics in regards to Sniper Wolf, where Cheeto basically reported misinformation about Sniper Wolf and then refused to take the video down, refused to admit he was wrong, and I kind of just did a whole stream making fun of him for that. I made a lot of jokes about him. I was a little aggressive with like my jokes, like I am with everybody. And then some what I believe were misleading allegations got perpetuated against him. I did a stream defending him on those, where Morale came in and kind of argued with me about that. And Cheeto took the time to get angry at me for platforming the guy making the allegations, even though I didn't know what he was going to be saying in advance. And I spent the whole stream refuting it, and that's the whole reason the guy didn't end up making a video on the allegations, and then called me off stream to get mad over like jokes I made about his bed. I don't like I don't hate him. I don't hate like really anyone. I mean, you're not gonna believe that, but I play up the aggressiveness, right? Sometimes on stream. I think like most people can understand this. It's like very rare I truly hate somebody over like online like beef or whatever the fuck. And I've played it up, right? I don't actually hate the guy, right? I think he has a huge ego. He can't admit he's wrong. And he's one of the most sensitive, personally, I think he is one of the most sensitive YouTubers I've ever seen. So, essentially, I streamed this one time. I stream sniped him. Yo, thank you so much for the $5 Jojo. For my BFF, you've responded to my chats before. I'm taking that to mean you've devoted a lifelong loyalty to me. True. So fucking true. So essentially, people went into his chat because I was watching his live while he was live and while I was live, and people were spamming AG4L, and on the stream, I said, don't raid the guy, right? I don't like condone that. And then he got mad about it. So then when I was offline in another instance, people came back into his stream, started spamming like AG4L again. I wasn't even around when they started doing it, and then he blamed it on me and said, yeah, this guy's agreed to stop sending people to raid me in the past. I never agreed to that because I've never done it. I've never sent people to raid him. I've disavowed every time. So I've covered him, making fun of him like 6 times in like the past 6 months, and I was going to stop, and then when he talks about me, of course I use that for content, right? Because why wouldn't I? And then the other night, a YouTuber by the name of Marcus, March Baby, sends people into a Cheetos chat to spam the I think Cheeto thinks I might be Lumpy Willie. I'm serious with you. This guy called March Baby like sends people into a Cheetah's chat to spam orange cat emojis, which is our thing, of course. And he like implies heavily that it's me without saying it, and then he acts it. We'll just watch this. All right, I got the stream. It was a pain in the ass, right, to get the stream, but we acquired it. So let's check it out. Right.
Kiss me out of the bearded barley nightly.
Very. Is that the Cranberries? All right. So what is the timestamp?
On his occupation, and we have called him out on it. Now, Simmons is referring to the fact that Mike enlisted his occupation as a lawyer, despite never passing the bar exam. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court tried to get him removed from the ballot over this, seeing it as a sketchy way to add credibility to his
House is basically the Senate.
Why won't it? Okay, there we go.
Exclusively for the selected state, from what I understand. So he basically.
So I think it is right here, maybe.
Because you did that before. You acted like I don't want to talk about this guy. He's making new accounts.
No.
Hold on.
But
Pennsylvania Supreme Court tried to get him removed from the
opportunity. That's okay. Hold on.
That's me. That's me. Okay, I was instigating a little bit.
Those include Denims, Rogan, John DeBlack, and this guy Mike from PA. I don't know who you know.
Where's the orange cat part?
Of, it's like
oh, they deleted it so you can't see it. Okay.
Men. What is that?
He's on with Think Before You Can Sleep, by the way.
oh,
Oh, wait, my audio is too loud. Sorry, I fixed it.
there's difference. It's like there's state and federal, so it's different from
So he was like, hold on.
state to state. But federal would be like there's like I don't know a couple hundred congressmen, and then
House
there's
of
like,
Rep is pretty low, is it? I mean, it's still like it's still something, right?
Pittsburgh School of Law.
I don't think he knows. House of Rep is pretty low. What is What is he? I don't think he knows what the House of Representatives is.
In
Well, there's 400
2013.
other reviewers.
The next year, he decided to run for a U.S. House seat against a man named Justin Simmons. Now, this election was personal for Mike, as his own mother.
Oh, here it is. So he was complaining earlier. He's like, yeah, this guy's messed with me. I'm not going to give him attention because it was March Baby that was rating him. But he doesn't want to say my name because he doesn't want to clip it, right? He doesn't want to clip it. So, or he doesn't want me to clip it. So he makes a fundamental mistake right around here. Okay? He says, I'm not going to say it. I'll just send it to you in chat.
Yeah, but it's almost like he's weirded on purpose.
He's got that nerd riz. No, he doesn't.
Wait, it's right around
That's
here.
not that, but not the nerd riz. It's like
Let me know if you can hear it. I need you to listen.
it's like the guy who would go and get their shit signed from Amaranth. It's like that energy. It's like he's like trying.
$10 from Klungo. Hee, I'm better. What'd you say? Hee, I'm better smart than Aiden. I hide food in secret place and big eat later. So fucking true. Thank you, Klungo.
Trying to like talk to his favorite streamer girl for $5 a month.
Wait for it.
Bro, this is
That all the
bad.
time.
This is bad.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? He's like pretending like he's moved on. He doesn't care. And he's like referencing the guy rating him, but he's not saying who it is. And it actually wasn't me. He's like, I'll just send it to you in chat because he doesn't want to say this guy's name. Did you hear that?
A month.
Bro, this is
That all the
bad.
time. Dude, he messed up. I guess he was watching my stream while he was supposed to be reacting to this video with his guest, Think Before You Can Sleep. And he accidentally plays, I guess, whatever it was that he was watching of mine. And it was in that moment. He fucked up.
This is bad.
It's really weird.
I don't think you could produce a more embarrassing clip. No matter
the
how
fuck?
much Mike would like you to forget it, this video will always be his legacy. Mike
Think Before You Can Sleep is such a tard. I met him with a cheetah. I spoke to the guy for a few hours. He seemed, it was like, what is it? I didn't take issue with him when I met him. I didn't know too much about his history, but it seemed like a stereotype of like a Redditor. It seemed like the stereotype of like a Redditor, like outside. That's like what it seemed like. He was like just like sitting there. Man, this is so lame. Like luckily he wasn't wearing a fedora, but like it just seemed like it seemed like a Redditor in person.
will continue collaborating with Bad Bunny, with some noticing his simp-like behavior for her. It just comes across as creepy.
Oh wait, did he ever finish 1,000 subs? I
So he has this guest on. He's supposed to be reacting.
What?
But she's just like all on him.
Can you hover hand me, please? Hover hand me, please.
Hover hand
That's
me?
what touch him.
Cross as
I will.
Hand me, please.
Down. I need to break this down. I need to break this down. Hold on a second. Oh, she's the $5 girl.
Just
Hover hand.
Everyone, let's remind everyone who it is that Mike is.
maybe.
You're reg.
That's not the. I think.
Yeah.
Your
It's I think it was in one of my really old. Try to say anything.
basically Mike from PA. So in a relationship with the girl. Let's fucking. And why isn't it 55? Neto puto. Government official.
Where is it? I think it's right around
We're gonna
here.
cover
maybe?
on your stream
Here
fully.
it is, right here.
My chat, right?
So I've gotten word of what's been going on. I'm kind of poking fun a little bit in chat because I know I'm poking fun at him in chat. Now I want you to keep in mind, besides one other instance, you need to keep this in mind. I don't think I've ever actually like typed in his chat with the exception of like maybe one other time that I can like remember. But he's gonna sit here and allege that like I come on to every stream on alts. I have about 4 alts. People like to joke I have so many alts. I have like 3 official channels and like 2 unofficial alt accounts. So it's Aiden Decoded, right? Aiden Decoded, Aiden Projects, Aiden Underground. Those are 3 channels of mine, right? And then I have Mr. Lips and Belarus Gaming. Okay? These are my only alts. But he, I guess, thinks that I'm Lumpy Willie or some. I don't know. But he thinks I'm going into every. Which I'm not. Okay? Which I'm not, by the way. Informed Aussie is Belarus Gaming. I just change, depending on which persona I'm doing, I'll change the title of Belarus Gaming to Informed Aussie.
To go to your channel, I have to make sure it's actually you before I ban you, right? You understand that? Like, are you fucking retarded or are you?
Wait, what is he saying?
that this guy left a previous relationship.
I'm just gonna say this. Hold on. Let me just get this out of the way. Aiden, I'm just gonna say your name, bro. You understand that when you spam my chat, right? In order to go to your channel, I have to make sure it's actually you before I ban you, right? You understand that?
I've never.
Like, are you fucking retarded?
Just so you know, I've never spammed in his chat. Multiple people were coming in from Marcus's stream, spamming like the whistling cat emojis. I was not one of them. I was not spamming his chat. That's a lie. Okay, right off the bat, that's a complete lie.
Retarded or are you retarded? Like, I know that you're in like almost every stream that I do.
That's
like, and it's weird.
That's
But
also another lie. I have maybe a few months ago, I typed in one other stream. Okay, this is like the second time I've ever typed on any account ever on his stream. So that's also another fucking lie. From Cyanide, Aiden, our love can only be expressed through the merging of flesh, the wet, the pulse, the heat. I will... Hold on, that got cut off. The wet, the pulse, the heat. I will stretch, twist, devour, and we will be one mass of flesh. Okay, thank you, I guess.
by the way, how you're like always in here, even though you're like, I don't really care. I don't care enough to be here. And I know that this is going to be something that you're going to cover on your stream.
100%. He uses this like an own. It's like, yeah, I'm going to cover it on my stream. It's fucking funny. It gives me something to talk about. Of course I'm going to be covering it on my stream. 850%, I'm going to be talking about it on my stream. You're going to use this obvious piece of content as content. Yes, you got the right idea. Absolutely, 150%.
Fully aware. So I'm making this because obviously you need to do that. I know. I haven't been live in like 4 days. I don't care, but you're still in my chat. Like, you know how many chats? Like, you're a hate viewer.
I've been in one chat months ago, and this is the first one. Either he thinks that I'm like people like Lumpy Willie. He thinks that people coming in and spamming are me. Or he thinks that, like, I don't know what he thinks. And the other thing, too, is I realize, he keeps talking about stream sniping. I think I've only stream sniped him, like, once. I'll say, too, to be fair, but I genuinely think it was, like, only one time. And I do have to stream snipe him because typically, and I'll give him credit, he didn't do it for this one. Typically, he removes DVR and takes down the bots, like, right after he goes live.
Why? I don't get it. I don't understand why you're a hate viewer. Like, why do you watch my content just to be in my chat hating, you know? I've never personally wronged you. I fully don't. I don't get it. The
other thing, too, is it's all, like, very personal to him. Like, it really is, like, this simple, okay? I'm doing this for fun. I'm on the internet to have a good fucking time and maybe make some money while doing it. And if you're like, what is a lolcow? It's somebody you could just keep farming for content and like laughs. And it's like, if me like poking fun at you just causes like these like crash outs, then like, yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm gonna do that. It's not that I hate you. It's that like you're very sensitive and it makes it very easy to give me content if I have nothing to talk about. And I'm gonna use that for content. It's really like, it's that simple. It's that simple. There's no personal vendetta. There's no personal hatred, okay?
I actually do not get it. This is literally my first day typing in one of your streams. Yeah, on that account.
I said first day, but I remember, and I corrected this like a few minutes later, I actually think this was the second time because there was one time like a few months prior where I typed like one or two things. So from now on, I'm going to just up it by one to be safe. I thought this was the first time. There was actually one previous time as well from like months before.
Like, are you stupid? You don't think I like have the other accounts? You don't think there's like a file that
he has a file on me? I've only typed in here twice and he has a file on me. And I have like 5 accounts. I think I've only typed in his stream on like 3.
This is all the accounts that I've banned. And if I unban you...
Dude, I want to see that file. It's going to be like Shelby502, Lumpy Willie, Ali Khan, Poop Swag. This guy thinks I'm everybody, bro. He's a file on me. He has an actual file on me. Dude, the Aiden file's true.
I can see your chat history. Like, what? It's actually shameless. Like, I'm just going to get this out of the way because he's literally on his 3rd account typing in here, which is fucking pathetic. Because this guy's like, he's like a...
I do this to Queeman. I do the same thing to Chud. Like, just so you know, like, one of my first, like, interactions with Queeman was me going into his chat on one account, calling the stream, like, insanely boring, dead air, etc., etc. He bans that. I come back on a 3rd. And then I come back on a 3rd. And then I come back on a 4th, right? And what do you think Queeman does about it? He laughs. It's not like a huge deal to him, right? He just kind of, like, laughs. That's what you're supposed to do.
A low-life loser who is a bottom barrel, bottom feeder fucking content creator who I've been nothing but nice to, and he's just decided that it would be convenient for him to start hating on me because he says, in his words, I have a big ego. Okay.
That is very, very accurate. And just to clarify, and I've said this, I'm not even a clarification because I've said this at least 100 times before. There's nothing wrong with having a big ego. In some regards, I think I have one in certain like areas, right? There are certain things I think I'm pretty good at. The problem is when having that ego gives you a superiority complex, or that ego is completely unearned, and you have absolutely no right to have like any sort of superiority complex when you're making like minimal effort content. And I make minimal effort content. This is like below minimal effort, right? But I'm not here like bragging about how great my fucking shit is, right? Like I know I'm doing minimal effort stuff. I don't think I'm like super. If I was talking right now to a video essayist or whatever, I would never have any sort of like superiority complex over him or whatever. So the problem is the ego is huge. It gives him a superiority complex, and it's totally unearned. That's been like my fundamental issue. Do I hate him because of that? No. I could even be cool with him knowing those things that I don't like about him. I'm cool with a ton of people who have aspects of them that I don't like. A big like fundamental I actually have found that my closest friendships are with people who I get along with like the least. A good example would probably be like Augie. Me and Augie are you know, good friends. But we argue over like literally everything. For some reason, those are like my better friendships. I don't know why. But please answer, are you boobs jiggler? Yes. So fucking true. Dumpy, me and Dumpy get along actually on most things. Me and Dumpy get along. We're close. We're close. I'm closer to Dumpy than I probably am with Augie or anyone, but that's like an exception. Dumpy doesn't have like very strong opinions, so it's kind of hard to not get along with him because he's not like he's like somebody that like he just kind of vibes. He doesn't really give a fuck.
Welcome to YouTube. Everybody here has a big ego if they're big.
Yeah.
It's like being like, well, I just have, like,
even though this guy wants the invite to the VidCon
This is the part that kind of pissed me off.
party that I hosted, he has no problem going to the parties that I host. No problem with it. But he wants to turn around and talk shit.
This is a rewriting of history. I'll explain to you exactly what's happened here, right? In as minimal detail as possible. But essentially, every single year, Tom rents out a B&B, and he basically, Tom behind the scenes is a very fucking nice guy, okay? I'm not a particularly big fan of his content. I don't watch him anymore. I know there's criticisms of it being effortless, whatever. I don't really, that's whatever. Behind the scenes, Tom is an incredibly nice guy. And Tom runs a B&B every year, and whoever wants to stay with him, he lets them stay with him. So he's invited me to like stay with him at his like place or whatever in the past, and you know, I've said no because I don't like staying with people. Now Achito, like 2 years ago, Achito wasn't staying with Tom, but he was essentially like just like he was like the guest that would never leave. He was like crashing on the couch, whatever, no problem. So him and Tom are friends. So this year he goes to stay with Tom. I could have stayed with Tom if I wanted to. I didn't, right? And because Tom does the same thing he does every year, has a bunch of people over, somehow Achito is now like taking credit. He's like, this was my thing. Everyone was there for Tom. It was known as Tom's thing. Nobody who was going there was under the impression that Achito had like anything to do with this. So I don't know. If somebody told me I was going to an Achito party, I wouldn't go. Like, Aiden isn't looking at chat. I'm looking at chat. What's up? No, I'm talking about Turkey Tom. But this wasn't his like thing. It's never been his thing. Tom has just like always. Thank you for buying me the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Aiden is a good guy. True.
Nothing to him. Nothing to this guy. I've done nothing to warrant the amount of hate that he does. You know, all the rage.
I don't hate him. I don't hate like. I'm starting to, but like I'm probably gonna see this guy in real life at some point. I'll be cool with him. I don't have like I don't fucking hate him, right? Like he just is unfortunately really fucking sensitive, and that makes for great content. So of course I'm gonna capitalize on that, if it's interesting, right? He was not really reacting for like a few months, so I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna A-log this guy. I'm just gonna like let bygones be bygones, and then he goes and talks about me again. So of course I cover him, and then it all starts up again. But yeah, we've beefed on and off for years. The shit in the past, he was just being a stupid kid. I was a stupid kid, so I'm not even gonna like I'm not gonna, none of that stuff I think is like super reflective of or worth criticizing him for. But like we would beef on and off. He accused me unironically, he accused me of being a violent schizophrenic. I'm not kidding, by the way. He accused me of being like a violent schizophrenic. maybe he's right, but I don't know, dude. It's just we've had on and off beef for like a very long time, but I tolerate him, and I have no, there's no hatred. It's just very like funny.
AIDS. This is like, you know, third time he's fucking raided my stream. He
This wasn't me rating. This was March Baby, by the way. I just got blamed for it.
hops in here, talks shit. It's so fucking tired, bro. It's actually so tired. You know? I have nothing. Like, it's literally so lame. Like, I don't want to interact with this guy, but he just continuously goes in my streams.
Continuously, second time in like months. Continuously. It's a total fucking lie. Complete lie. I stopped covering him, and then he went and spoke about me. So actually, I kind of feel like he's stalking me, to be honest. It's like very strange.
I just like literally just fucking like
I'm the victim. I'm the victim.
it's so
Just mute him.
it's so
mute
tired.
him right
Why
now.
don't you just... That is great advice. That is very good advice. I don't think he's considered that one before, to be honest with you. I don't think he's considered that one. But like, yeah, probably if you know there's like a streamer trying to get a reaction out of you for content, the worst fucking thing you can do is like take your time to like address it every stream, even when the streamer isn't doing anything to you, like when other people are coming in. So if he just like didn't talk about it, there would be nothing for me to talk about. And then at the end, I tried to actually settle the beef with him at the end of this stream, but he was like unwilling to come on and call about it. So, and then kind of was acting like weird again today. So I don't know what the deal is with that.
No,
I do. I mean, I will. But it's like if he's gonna keep making new accounts, then it's just like I'm just gonna fucking
Release the voice. There's nothing interesting. I don't know who's saying anything about a voice message. When the stream was done yesterday, he tried to reach out to me and like extend a truce or a hand of. It's just like it's awkward for me. Like I don't want to have a like. I'm totally okay with being like cool with this guy, but if I have something to cover about you, I'm gonna fucking cover it. Okay? The same goes for people I'm actually friends with. If Augie has a crash out moment, if Augie has a bad tweet, if Augie whatever, I'm gonna fucking cover that shit. Augie knows that, right? Augie doesn't crash out like this. I don't think he ever has. But like essentially, it's not him extending a hand of friendship to me, which is how it's like disguised. He's trying to bargain with me to stop covering him. And to be honest, if this is the end of it, this will be the last time I cover you. If you don't do anything like fucking insane again, like this will be the last time I cover him, because he is not really that interesting unless he's crashing out about me.
you know,
Good waste his time. Again, it takes
your
half a
party, bro.
second to
Someone
mute
sent me
somebody.
the invite. You don't think it's like
Someone sent literally everyone. I could like get at least 10 people. I could get 10 people into this call right now who were there, and they'll all tell you the same thing. They'll tell you it was Tom's. It was Tom's fucking thing. Literally, people just call it like people call it the Tom Rager, bro. Like nobody knew it was this guy. He was just a guy that was staying with Tom. He was one of about like 8 people that were staying with Tom, because Tom lets anyone stay with him.
yeah, I hosted it. Dumbass, like what? If it's an open invite, I'm still hosting it.
He's not hosting
Age gang
it.
represent,
what is he
okay?
talking about, dude? This guy's insane. Will with the $5, you should have called him a bitch though, because that's what he was acting like. He is, but I've done that like plenty of times. I could do it again, but like he is acting like a bitch. I was trying to be like good faith here and get him to like a point of understanding at some point. Like at some point it got to a point where I actually like kind of felt a little bit bad with how sensitive this guy was, that I was like trying to like get him to understand, but I don't really know if that's possible.
Fucking retard, dude. You're so fucking disgusting. Fucking slimy piece of shit, dude. Oh my god. Actually, so
The worst thing is that
cringe.
you can't.
Tom
you can't-
hosted
$5 from Klungo. A Cheeto bigger nose than Aiden and Queeman combined. Lol.
it. Tom and me. It was our house. This guy's so dumb. He thinks he knows what he's saying. He's
Tom has had the same event every single year. Years where you weren't even there. Like, this is Tom's thing. Like, if I had stayed at Tom, which I was offered to, I would never, ever, ever take credit for I hosted this. I would never say that, because people are coming because Tom invited them. You took your one and only W and you're streaming live today, and here you are whining for some reason. I knew you would. What am I whining about? True, actually. I agree. That is an accurate statement. All right. Serious.
Literally clueless. Him and I hosted it. Yeah, he co-hosted it. I hosted it with him. So, like, oh my god. Fucking retard, bro. Could we move on? I want nothing more than to move on.
His chat is literally begging him to move on. He has a guest here, and the guest is just like sitting there awkwardly.
Right? I really do. I want nothing more than move on. But if every 5 minutes,
but he can't.
He's going to make a new account and type in the.
It's not. I've typed. I think on this stream I typed in like 2 accounts. That's not, he thinks I'm everyone that was coming in spamming him. I'm not. Okay, I'm just not. He probably thinks I'm Lumpy Willie. He probably thinks I'm fucking Ali Khan. He probably thinks I'm all these. I'm none of these fucking people. It's not you. He can move on. All he needs is like mods to bam the fucking spammers and just move on.
Chat. Then it's just like, you know, I may as well get this out of the way, right? Holy shit! Such a fucking.
Aiden, you were absolutely the one going after this guy over and over again. Just own it. I'm sorry. I go after him. I then defend him. He responds like a fucking crazy person. I don't like that. I then use him for content for 5 streams. I then stop. I don't fucking continue to use him for content. And then he talks about me. Reignites all of it. Leading to me talking about him again. And then yesterday, when a totally different streamer goes and raids him, he blames me. So, no, actually, as of 2 months ago, it has been him starting shit with me.
Retard. Okay, I don't want to bully a 155 view small streamer. My bad. Yeah, so
Well,
kick
it's
rocks.
160.
I mean, yeah, it's just whatever. I mean,
Dude, that's crazy, bro. This is a channel with I never like to do the numbers thing, but I know like this guy cares about it a lot. This is a channel. He's on a channel right now that has 500,000 subs. He's streaming on a channel with 500,000 subs, and we only have right now like 30 less viewers than he had at that point.
he's poor as fuck. Like, he's actually poor. Like, it's okay.
Then he starts accusing me of being poor, which is typically the opposite of what I get accused of, right? Dude, can I get... How do I show the emojis on Streamlabs? It's very annoying to just... But anyways, I'm poor? I'm poor? What? Huh?
Broke behavior.
No, it's fine. I mean, he wants to call me broke. He wants to say I have no viewers or whatever, but it's
I
like...
was not calling him broke. I wasn't calling him broke at all. I just was saying he has no view. There's nothing to do with money. He does make money. That's why I actually understand why he makes dog shit videos, because he probably makes a lot of money doing it. Which is like, get your back. I have no problem with that. But don't have a fucking unearned ego about it.
He actually is poor, so it's like, it's okay.
Well,
Like,
if he wasn't poor, he wouldn't have time. Like, if he was rich, he wouldn't have time to do this.
No, 100%.
Wouldn't it be the opposite? If I was rich, wouldn't I have time to like sit back and do whatever the fuck I wanted? Huh? I have a like relatively for a full-time student, like I do have like a good amount of like free time to fuck around.
100%. Yeah, I mean, it's a
Busy
Thursday
making
night.
content.
I mean, literally everyone else is out at bars, and I'm going to a bar after this stream, so it's just like, you know.
Okay, way to announce your Dude, it's a Thursday night, bro. It's a weeknight, and this guy isn't out drinking? This guy isn't out drinking on a week. Is that like supposed to be an own? That I'm not out drinking on a Thursday night? Is that supposed to be an own? He's used this. Before he's been like, dude, it's a Monday night. Dude, it's a Tuesday night. Dude, it's a fucking Wednesday night, and this guy's typing in a chat. Dude, it's a Thursday night, and here this guy, it's like, what night would satisfy you for me to like not be like, what night am I supposed to not be out drinking? What, like, for him, you're a loser if you're not out drinking every single fucking day of the week. Well, I personally, this is just me. I think if you're going out to a bar getting drunk every night of the week, you're somebody that probably lacks like a lot of self-discipline, and you might be the loser. That's just me though.
It's whatever. Like he wants to come in my chat and start shit. It's like, okay. Turning off the DVR and privating this video is pointless. Hey, Cheeto is being recorded. Okay, it's being recorded. I'm saying all this stuff. You don't think about it. The moment I said his name, I'm fully aware. I literally said I know he's gonna cover this. These people.
Yeah, he keeps using that as an own. It's like, yeah, of course I'm gonna cover it. You're giving me content. Absolutely.
People are so fucking like they're monkeys. They're literally monkeys.
But then how that
They're what? They're what? We're what? A Cheeto with the $2. You're like a brother to me. Thanks, man. So true. So true. Why do people, when I like, if I'm on good terms with somebody and then I'm like no longer on good terms with them, why is like the immediate cope, the immediate fallback? Like Bolex is like my friend of 5 years, my best friend. It's like anyone who's actually saying that about me, I was never that close with. Like, it is like very rare. Like I use the term friend, and this is like a me issue. I kind of use the term friend when I mean acquaintance sometimes. But like, I'm not like, I wouldn't consider myself like friends with many people. Like if we're not like talking like once a month, I probably wouldn't consider like someone a friend of mine. I don't know. I think that's probably fair.
YouTubers struggle where their audience is like obsessive, so they don't ever get bored of hearing the same topic over and over and over and over again. But then you also never grow doing that, so.
I don't care, bro. I never called you broke, and this is what he wants to do. He wants to say, I never implied you were broke.
Aiden, you're a loser for not hitting salvia 40 times extract in class. True. Dude, I was reading about salvia the other night. That shit is scary as fuck. Do not... Anyone who takes salvia, like, has, like, or anyone who smoke... Not sativa, like the weed. Like, salvia, the hallucinogen. You have, like, a fucking death wish, buddy. Like, there are people... If you go to, like, videos about salvia, it's a bit of a side tangent. In the comments, there's people like... I remember I did it 10 years ago, and I just wish my life would go back to normal. Like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. It's like, holy fuck, bro. This drug sounds horrifying.
I only called you a small streamer even though your job is streaming, so implying that you're bad at your job would mean that you make no money. Like, come on, dude.
Wait, that's cope. So he's saying I'm broke. I'm like, no, I actually never said you were broke, and this was his response.
Over and over and over and over again. But then you also never grow doing that, so.
I don't care, bro. I never called you broke, and this is what he wants to do. He wants to say, I never implied you were broke. I only called you a small streamer even though your job is streaming, so implying that you're bad at your job would mean that you make no money.
That's not his job, though. He's just lying. I guess he wants to be a streamer because he's skinwalking Asmon Gold right now. But you're not a streamer. He does videos.
So
this is how he makes his income. This is how he makes his income. Because this is his full-time job, I'm pretty sure, right? There's no way you're, like, getting by, like, full-time with the donos you're getting on streams. Unless... No, I guess you could if you live in, like, Mississippi or so. I don't know where he lives, but I doubt it's there. Right? He looks like he lives in, like, a pretty nice place. This is not your job. You're not a streamer.
Like... Come on, dude. Anyway. Listen. It's absolutely fine. It is absolutely fine that you're going to go and use this as stream content. Because I knew you were going to do it anyway, okay?
I knew. I'm always ahead of you. I knew that you were going to clip my crash out and use it as stream content, so I did it. I'm really the winner here. Oh, really? Really, you are? Really? Because it kind of feels like I'm winning. To be honest, it kind of feels like I'm winning. I don't know.
But don't act like this is not what you want. Because you did that before. You acted like, I don't want to talk about this guy. He's uninteresting.
What I don't want to talk about is I don't want to, like, cover you when you're not talking about me. And it got, like, very boring to go and, like, watch your, like, stupid, like, bad videos. Right? I didn't want to do that anymore. I didn't want to come at you and cover you for like no reason. It got like kind of pathetic. But then when you're talking about me, I'll absolutely cover that.
Interesting. Okay. So now when you go and you use this as content, just at least don't say that. At least do not say that you're not interested in using me for.
I'm not interested in using your normal bad videos for content. I'm totally interested in using you crashing out about me for content. 150%.
Content because you are. Okay?
$5 from Klungo. Dipped away. Which one is Aiden? I'm Aiden. I'm Aiden.
Let's get that straight. Now, anyway, last thing I'm going to say is, what is the lie? Okay? What is the lie that I'm telling about you? The
lie that he said about me is that I sent people into his chat to raid him, and I had agreed to not send people into his chat to raid him, even though I never sent people into his chat to raid him, so I would never agree to stop doing something that I was never doing in the first place. He blamed me for 2 raids that he had absolutely no idea he had absolutely no idea who was doing them, so he just blamed them on me. And they weren't from me. One was from Marcus. The other one was from viewers who went in there to stir up shit. And then when I found out about it, I said in my server, like, don't, like, egg this guy on or whatever. And he blamed that on me. That was the lie. The other lie is that, well, this was a new lie, actually, that I have, like, 20 fucking alts on his streams, and I'm coming in every time he streams. And you could say, he's being hyperbolic. Sure, I don't think he actually means I'm there every stream, but the hyperbole is to indicate that I'm there for most of his streams, or a good portion of them. And that is not, the hyperbole is actually just a lie. If I'm only there for 2 streams over the span of like 6 months, then it's just a complete lie, which is, you know, what this was.
verifiable lie. Please tell me what the verifiable lie is.
So I tell him, I take a minute to type it.
I'm asking Cheetah because they're still talking. No. We'll ban him after this is done. I need him to tell me the lie because it's fucking, you know, I'm confused. And he hasn't said anything yet, so I'm just waiting for the lie before we can get out of here. Because he can just say that I'm lying, but he won't say. Okay.
This is the other part I feel bad for. He doesn't have like he doesn't have self-control. He very clearly wants to ignore me, but there's something like preventing him. His viewers want him to ignore. Everyone wants him to ignore me, but there is something like happening right now where he is unable to stop engaging, and that is like the formula for a lolcow, right? And what I said is, even if I stop covering him, and for the most part I am, unless he talks about me, I'm totally fine with like being, you know, neutral with him or whatever the fuck, right? The problem is, the sharks, this is going to sound so gay, but the sharks smell blood in the water. They know this is a guy that is really sensitive and responds to everything. So what happens when a streamer like Purple Perry comes along and starts covering this guy? What then? I'm not going to be the last one to cover him. I don't think he realized that. I'm not going to be the last one to talk about this. This is a problem you need to address, because even if I'm out of the equation, this is going to become problematic for you like down the line, especially if you're going to start streaming. The one guy thing is funny. Playing into the one guys is funny. But the problem is he's not playing it up. He's not playing it up. I thought he was. I think one of the clips somebody sent me, I argued he's obviously faking it. And I think for that clip in particular, he was. But this anger right here, this is not fake.
Typed in your chat on an account I've made. You've blamed me for coordinating raids against you. Yeah, you've raided my stream before.
I've never rated his.
You have.
He's just misusing that word. That's not. If people from my streams decide to go in and like engage in a raid against him, it's not me raiding him. Okay, especially if I'm like actively telling you guys not to fucking do this, because you're gonna cause problems for me. So, you know, it's like, it's actually not me raiding you.
You've stream sniped me before.
I've stream sniped him, I think, once. Like months before.
What are you talking about? Are you saying that's not true? Are you saying you've never stream sniped me?
Nope, it's not what I'm saying.
You've never watched my shit on stream? Ever?
Nope, never said that. I think he deleted the am I in chat?
Are you serious?
I think he banned me from typing in the channel or something because my comments aren't there, but that's actually not what I was saying at all. I don't know how he like interpreted it that way.
Serious? I've literally never encouraged anyone to. Okay, you understand there's a difference between a raid that happens because you're so fucking retarded. I've never encouraged anyone to raid your stream. You understand by watching me live.
Yeah, so the logical conclusion of this argument would be that you're not allowed to cover him. If your chat, against your wishes, explicitly against your wishes, goes in and raids somebody, and you're at fault for that, even though you're telling them not to, and they're doing it because you're covering that person, the logical conclusion is you just can't cover him, right? That's not like a huge leap in logic. That's essentially what that's where his argument would lead, right? But he's gonna say that's not where it leads.
What your chat's gonna do.
Oh, you have a dono? Read it? Sorry. Lumpy Willie. Hey, Aiden. Just got done wrestling with your mom. Didn't know she was a 3... Okay, I'm not reading that. Thank you, though. I appreciate appreciate the It's a scammed. I did scam him. Absolutely. I'm a scammer. What are you gonna do about it? Problem? Issue? I'm a scammer. I'm actually running several Ponzi schemes. Problem?
When you're stream sniping me, that's what happens. They raid. Are you dumb? I've never encouraged anyone to stream snipe you, or I've never encouraged anyone to raid you, but I'm literally going to watch you.
Sorry, guys. I don't get the alert sound now, so if I'm not like looking at chat, I might miss your dono. So you might have to just remind me if I miss it. If I miss something, I will go back and read it. I don't miss donations intentionally. It's obvious that I am one of the most important people you've spoken about and want to garner clout of the streamer beef with me. It is so clear to see. Cheeto, I totally 150% agree. Yes. So true. So fucking true. I donated money and you didn't read it? Where'd you dono? I'm checking Streamlabs. Nothing on Streamlabs. Nothing in the history. Yeah, I've read every donation I've gotten tonight. Sorry.
I even stream snipe you and talk shit while I'm doing it in front of my audience so that they go and fucking go to your chat. That's not a lie. You've done that.
Someone said you guys should fight at Crater Class 3, but that wouldn't be fair because you're like 2 feet taller than him.
Yeah, he's like 5'10" or something.
I am 6 foot, okay? But you know what? For your sake, we'll say I'm 5'10". I'm 6 foot, okay? But for your sake, we'll say I'm 5'10". If that's true, how is that a fucking own? That's still pretty decent height. Still pretty decent height. Like, it would have been funnier if you wanted to insult me to just lie and say I'm like 5'3". No shot, you're 6 feet? There are photos. I couldn't lie about this if I wanted to. And I would round up if I wanted to lie to you. I'd say I'm 6'1", because with shoes I am, because I'm, what, 6 foot 3/4? But no, I am 6 feet tall. Are you taller than him, though? No. No, by no shot. He's, like, super fucking tall. He's like, I don't, what has he gotta be? He's gotta be like 6'5", 6'6". He's very fucking tall. The only person I think that's like taller than him would be like Jalen that I've ever seen like in this space. Jalen is like, I think a little taller than him. He said 6'6" on the stream. I could believe that. I could believe that. He's like freakishly tall. He's super fucking tall. If he's 6'6", I believe that.
So we aren't allowed
I'm not
to
really good with like eye-shotting height, but he is like very tall.
react to other people's content. I'm not saying he's just shifting the goalpost. You are allowed to do it, but saying that
I'm not shifting. So he's saying by me saying I shouldn't cover him, that's me shifting the goalpost. What the argument he made, because he said you raided me. I did not send anyone to raid you. Well, by covering me, people came on to watch my stream and raided me. Therefore, you're at fault. Okay, so if the factor that makes me culpable for the raid is me covering you, then the logical conclusion should be that your argument is that you don't want me covering you. But somehow that is me shifting the goalpost, even though that's like I don't think you know how to follow like a line of like argumentation. That's exactly what that would lead to.
when you cause a raid that I'm lying by saying that is dishonest. So you're lying about me lying. I'm not saying you're not allowed to react to it. You can react to it, but you're saying that I'm not you're not the cause for the raid. You are. So what you're saying is that I'm not causing the raid. You are causing the raid. You're allowed to watch it, but then don't deny that you're the cause of the raid. You know? Because you're saying I'm lying when I say that. It's not a lie. The goalpost was that I didn't encourage people to raid you, and you said me reacting to your content is yes, it is. It is. If your streams that you could.
So he just said I'm shifting the goalpost by making that argument. So I say, well, okay, well, this was the goalpost, which is the thing he just accused me of shifting it to. And he's like, yes, actually, it is. So he's now disagreeing with himself. Holy crash out. $2 from Patrick Starr. Aiden, you're 4'9" at best. Augie's true. So fucking true. Yeah, Augie's like 5'3"? Kai Cenat is like, isn't Kai Cenat like under 5 foot? Kai Cenat is like, what is Kai Cenat height? Dude, I found this out. He's 5'4". Wait, I thought he was like under 5 feet. No, Kai Cenat is taller than Augie. Kai Cenat is taller than Augie. Okay.
You can react to my content. Just don't when I'm live stream snipe me. Cuz that's raiding. When I don't stream snipe people. Everything I watch is clips. If Hassan is live,
Augie's also not white. I don't think he is. You want me to be honest with you? 150% honest. I truly in my heart believe this, and this isn't a bad thing. I do think with I'm not going to go into it without his permission. With my understanding of Augie's family history, I believe Augie's part black. I'm certain of this. That's why I want him to take a DNA test. He won't, but I would bet money. I think Augie's part black and maybe like part Native American. One of those two.
and I'm live, I'm not going to watch Hassan. I mean, it wouldn't matter because Hassan has so many viewers, right? But that's like...
I'm being totally serious with you. With my understanding of his history, I genuinely believe he is.
Come on. Just don't stream snipe me. Like... That's my point. Or if you can, or if you want to, okay, fine, but then you can't expect to not be called...
Is it like Creole? Yeah, he's public about that. He's public about that. He is public about that part. I don't know if he said before, right? That... But yeah. But I think because of that, I truly, genuinely think he might be.
No, or accused of the raids because you're the only reason I get raid. You know. Anyway, thank you for the $5, Ansel. So because I wasn't lying about that, and you admit it, right? You're saying it's. Do you want me to not do it? No, but just don't call me a liar. It's just like so shameless. Anyway.
Who knows? Maybe his viewers watch ads.
Okay, that's fine, but in general, like, there have been times where you've done it, right? So it's not a lie.
No, it is a lie. It is a lie to say I rated you because I didn't do that. Mods, can we take care of this? Thanks. What do you mean what? What do you mean what? What? I don't know how to respond to what if you're not following it up with... I hate when people ask me questions in this way. When people are like, what? Or like a question mark. It's like, when I say like a very coherently like worded kind of thing, it's like, what didn't you understand? What were you unable to understand? What don't you get? Tell me. Tell me. What don't you understand? Okay. Got it.
I'm gonna wrap this whole thing up in like 2 minutes. I just want to make sure because he's saying that I lied. I haven't lied. Okay. Like, you know. We'll get out of this.
Just to clarify, that was his third lie. He actually did not wrap it up in 2 minutes.
We'll be done with this. Okay. I've already given him too much content, you know. Gonna
Too
do like
much.
1 hour stream on this or whatever.
Oh, it's gonna be way more than 1 hour.
And then we'll be done. But I didn't lie about anything. Okay, I don't know why he has a problem with me. I actually don't.
He's called in and I've like literally explained to him exactly what my problem is. Like I've explained to him exactly like what my issues with him are. But just to clarify, these issues are not something that would like prevent me from talking to somebody or whatever. It's like the problem is I don't like how offended he gets at my attempts to offend him. I don't like when I try to offend him how offended he gets. It makes me upset. It makes me very mad how offended he gets when I'm trying to offend him. Because, like, I do this to everyone, and he's the only one that responds like this. It's very funny.
I did it once, discourage people, and then like a week and a half ago, you said that I did it again when I wasn't even live. That's the lie. When did I do it a week and a half ago?
Aiden looks pale. It's scary. I've always been pale. Whenever I'd go to, like, a new school, or when I moved from elementary to middle school, I had one free sick day every single year, where if the nurse hadn't met me before, if I wanted to get out of school that day, I could just, like, go to the nurse, kind of be like, yeah, I'm not feeling so great. They'd be like, you're really pale. You're really pale. You better go home. And then she'd let me go home.
And if I did, it was because there was a flux of people.
Aiden Cheetah's tweeting about you. Good one.
Where, okay, well, first of all, you literally admitted it. So you said initially the lie was saying that I accused you of causing a raid. So you admitted it. Okay, so the first thing is that you literally admitted it.
No. The original accusation is that I was sending people to go raid him, which wasn't true. Actually, I think we even have the clip. Let me go look through my Twitter. Hold on. Have you ate today or a little? I did eat today. Dude, I gotta start eating healthier. Bro. I gotta start locking in. Hold on. Where is it? I'm just pulling this up real quick so we could see his original like accusation and then kind of compare it to what he's saying right now. So I think that it is right around here. Yeah. Cool.
World.
So this is like after not talking about him for like a month or something. Like this is where like I started talking about him again because people started coming while I was doing my like homework for fucking geography or whatever. Oh wait, you can't see it.
In the solar system was
This Aiden guy's probably watching our stream right now or something. This happens like once every stream. Like this guy, like he just sends his minions to
Sends them. I've sent them, right? I wasn't even online. That's a fucking lie.
have like just spam my chat. I mean, it's just par for the course.
Actually, okay, if I'm being charitable, and he's super uncharitable to me, so I mean, I have no good reason to be charitable to him, but if I am being charitable, maybe lie is like strong wording. Maybe it's he's being unknowingly wrong, I guess, but then he would be lying after the fact when he's not really admitting that he got it wrong. Because after the fact, when he knows full well that I didn't cause people to do this, he's still not backing down from it. So I guess that would be the part that would be the lie.
World Nintendo forced to charge you 80
And then he keeps going.
World.
I can't be that interesting, bro. I can't be that interesting that it's warranting all of this.
You're not. That's why I didn't cover him
these
for like
raiders.
2 months.
I mean, what do I?
You don't even have minions? I do. I know a lot of people that the notion that I have loyal followers makes them very uncomfortable because they don't like to see me succeed in life. But yes, we're actually a cult. So I do. But it's okay. It's okay. We could pretend like there's no cult. AIDS gang isn't real. I don't know what you're talking about.
I talk about that's so interesting. Isn't half his content calling me boring? And it's like I'm not interesting. And now he's coming in to have his audience type snoring emojis.
That was Nico. I know that's Nico doing that because Nico does that to me.
Okay, if it's not interesting, then why are you even here?
AIDS gang represent, okay?
Yo, thank you so much. Klungo with the $5. Are your chat mods just smaggle-like, autistic, and gay? My chat mods are actually like, at least the ones I keep are competent. But yeah, they are autistic, and some of them might be gay. But they're not like smaggle, because they're competent for the most part.
I just don't understand it. But that's okay.
You see it in Nintendo
Except Poop Swag. Poop Swag is not autistic or gay. He's literally just like a crackhead that I found outside.
Switch Sports. You see it in Part World.
I can't even.
And quickly.
So yeah, he says
quickly as possible. Nintendo seems to love this disgustingly soulless art style that.
And it's funny too because there's also literally nothing to even talk about. Like, just 'cause, you know.
I think he thought I was watching the stream at this point, but he's talking to it's talking to a wall because I'm not even there.
I'll give him like the airtime that he's begging for because this happens every stream.
So I don't know if the alts thing, he thinks that this is me right now in his chat. It's not. It was like Lumpy Willie, Nico, Dust Bunny.
There is nothing what is there to even say? Like, this is like November tier shit and we're like April.
The criteria to be a mod here is you need to either be autistic, gay, Latino, Chinese, or a drug addict. If you're none of those things, you can't get mod.
It's fucking April, big bro. Like, let's please, like, just keep it moving, bro.
Clearly requires very minimal processing and quickly as possible.
So yeah, hold on. So we'll keep listening to this.
To doing it. But you're saying, well, I didn't admit to doing it this time. Okay.
I didn't do it any time.
So when there's a spam of people who are saying your fucking slogan in my chat, I'm supposed to...
AG4L's in chat, folks. In my chat, not this guy's chat. AG4L's in chat, if you're here.
Assume that the person who's done it before didn't do it this time? You're retarded. You're literally a...
No Chinese. Xi is still technically a mod on this channel, but he disappeared like 3 months ago. I don't know what happened to this guy. Xi is like actually still technically a mod, but he was using a VPN to get on YouTube. He was talking bad about China in my chat, and then we just never heard from this guy again. I unironically think that this guy might have been like arrested by the CCP or something.
Retard. No, I admit to watching... Okay. Look how he walks it back because he knew he fucking shot himself.
And then we had this was also weird. We had a Chinese guy, like from China, come into my server and try to get me onto Weibo or Weibo. He tried to get me onto Weibo. And it was like super fucking like out of nowhere.
On the foot. Yeah.
CA $2 from Skyhawk. Ichido's making me have opinions on minorities. Okay.
He's just doing this shit. I mean, there's just nothing. I don't know what to say anymore. I mean, the reality is, I don't want to talk about you. I know you want to talk about me because you're going to talk about this on stream 100%, okay? We're going to get out of here. And I'm sorry, Sean, I don't mean to leave you in the call. But I mean, you know.
Dude, we forgot he has a guest. The guest has just like been sitting here like awkwardly the whole time. Like, just like listening to this like crash out. He even said at the beginning, like, why don't you just mute him? Why don't you just ignore him? He can't.
Anyway, we'll just, bro. I don't know. This guy is
these two dating?
Me and him.
No, the Bad Bunny and Mike from PA.
This guy just wants to get back to the video. He's like trying to subtly like get him back onto the video. He's not taking it, bro.
Chat's saying just kiss already. No, cooked him. I mean, look. I'll wrap this up in about like...
You cooked him. Did anyone actually say that? I'm curious. Maybe someone did. Maybe someone did say that.
Like 30 seconds.
Cooked him. I think this is maybe from the beginning of the stream.
I'll think about covering you.
Cooked him. Drake is serious. He's a 0 viewer streamer. I actually have at 12 a.m. on the West Coast and like 3 a.m. on the East Coast. I actually have like what fucking one I can't do math right now. Almost I can't do math, but I have a very small percentage of this guy's sub count, and how many does he have? All right, it's about so what? I would have 1,000. Yeah, I have I have 1/100. Fuck, I have 1/100th less than like I have 1%, right? 1% of his sub count, just about, right?
It's like pretty
And I
relevant
have
topic.
I have like 30 less viewers.
You get like 177 views. Okay, you can say that, but I know you will. I know you will. You know you will. I mean, I don't have to say anything.
I used to be good at math, okay? I didn't have to take calculus, and I literally have not done a math class, unless you're counting stats. I have not done a math class since senior year of high school. And I've just lost it, man. That's not even like, that's like elementary school math. That's like fractions.
Bro, I mean, you know you will. You know you will, and you know that your switch up was totally unwarranted, you know? Let me ask you this, and this is the last thing I'm going to ask, right? From after you showed up to my party at VidCon,
My party.
right?
It was not your party. I've never gone to a party of yours. I don't think, go and ask anyone who was there whose party it was. Like, I just want to see. I just want to, like, try something. I'm going to start, like, just messaging some people. I won't even tell them why. I won't even announce their name. Okay? I'm just going to message people who are there. Yo, do you remember whose party that was on such and such date? There is not a single person on this fucking earth that is going to say that it was his party, because it wasn't his party. I think if anyone knew it was his party, nobody would go.
From there until, like, when you started, like, the hate streams on me, what actually happened? You know, what caused you to look at me so unfavorably?
He wants my, like, villain origin story, bro. This guy wants my villain origin story. I'll tell you what happened. I've had many issues with him going back for years, okay? And I was like, I did some stupid shit when I was a kid online, and so did he. Okay? So I moved past that. It's like whatever. He's grown out of it, right? Cuz I grew out of my shit. I assumed he did. So I move on. I let bygones be bygones. I let the beef be in the past, and I'm like super nice and cordial to him. And I'll say he was fine to me, right? For the most part. And then he demonstrates behaviors that show that, like, actually he hasn't grown out of any of these behaviors. And the thing is, when you're giving someone the benefit of the doubt because something was so long ago, you're doing it because you believe they've grown up and grown out of it. And if he's not, he's demonstrated the opposite. He's demonstrated the big ego, the inability to take criticism, etc., was all still there when the Sniper Wolf shit went down. So I did the stream making fun of him. And then, after the shit happened with Morale, I realized just how sensitive he was. And I realized, I started to not, I started to realize that this was like a lolcow. This guy would be very funny to make content on because of the unearned ego in regards to the shit content. So I took advantage of that. I capitalized on it.
I'm actually curious, and then we'll be done with this. I don't really care. That part I don't understand, right? Because once you start going down the rabbit hole of hating me and you're doing, like, streams, you know, frequently, you get used to it, so you stop thinking about why it started.
But no, I don't hate. Okay, it takes a lot for me to... I might hyperbolically use that word for people or whatever the fuck, or being facetious. But it's very rare I truly fucking hate someone. It's very rare. Like, I'm actually, like, a super, like, I move on. Like, I can move on, like, super fucking easily from something if, like, the other person, like, makes an effort or whatever the fuck. I'm not somebody that, like, hates anybody. Or not a whole lot of people. So when I say it wasn't anything personal, what I mean is, yes, there were flaws in his character that I noticed that contributed to me making content on him. But it was also the fact that I could make content on him because he would respond.
Genuinely don't understand. I've been nice to you. I have no problem being nice to you, you know? I genuinely don't really care. I don't care enough about you to hate you, but you come in my streams, you make content about me. I think that's strange.
It's strange that I make content about him. Strange that I make content about him. So then you fall back on the, oh, why are you making content on Dean Withers? Why are you making content on like a bunch of random trans people? Lily Tino, 2 videos, right? Why are you making content on why are you making content on, like, you make content on people for a fucking living, which is what's so infuriating about this. Like, you make content on people for a living, right? And it's like, you could sit here and not real, like, the irony just doesn't occur to you that you're complaining that it's weird that you're making content on me. Okay, I think it's weird you're making content on literally anyone. Why are you making content on anyone, bro? Do like Roblox videos. Actually, that would probably be more appealing to your like 10-year-old fan base. It's what we do, okay? You cover people because people want to watch it, you think it's funny, whatever. And the irony of that just isn't like occurring to you right now. And then the cope he'll fall back on is, well, it's different when it's somebody I knew like personally. It's different when it's like somebody like I like knew on like a personal level, like personally. Huh? We spoke like 2 times in like 1 year. I met him in person because he was with people that I was meeting, right? Like the same with Bowlegs. I never hung out with him one-on-one. There's nothing that like substantially like happened where I would like think that like the connection is like any different than anyone else like online, right? I don't really distinguish like meeting people in real life as like being so much more profound and meaningful than like online. Unless maybe it's like I'm making a conscious effort to meet you, or like I've been to your house. Okay? Then I consider us, if I've been to your house, right? I consider we're probably close, right? I've been to Augie's place, I've been to Dumpy's place, so I consider, okay, you know, I get it. You could say that we're good friends. I have as close a relationship with this guy as I would with about 200 other people that I'd never consider friends and wouldn't consider me a friend.
So yeah, okay. I defended you on a stream. You talked down to me like you were my boss, and then called me off stream to complain about some random joke. No, before that.
Stop playing coy. Boblax was your friend, and he was comfortable enough to sleep around you. We've seen the photo. That was in somebody else's living room, where there were like 15 other people present.
But I'm sorry if you felt disrespected. I don't want to disrespect you. The stream that you're talking about is a stream where you had a guy call in, make allegations against me.
Also, he can like disrespect me. I'll use it for content, but feel free to disrespect me. Feel free to make content on me, right? Do that if you want. I wouldn't take it personally. Why is he? I can't remember if he was actually sleeping or just like really drunk or high. I can't remember. All I remember about him is he was like always like high or some shit.
And I thought that I didn't like that you had him on there to make the allegations about me.
By the way, I didn't have him on. He called in. I didn't have context or like knowledge as to what he was going to be talking about. I got morale on, and then I refuted the allegation. And the thing is, even if I did have a general idea of what he was going to be talking about, I still wouldn't have done anything wrong, right? Because, like, I think you can platform any claim you want. It's only bad if you know it's a false claim or it's an unfounded claim and you're not giving it any pushback, which in some aspects, Achito did give Nux pushback in certain areas, but Nux was saying things that were like legitimately untrue. He was accusing people without basis of being in like terrorist organizations, etc., on Achito's stream with like not a whole lot of there was pushback, but on specific points, there wasn't like a whole lot of it, right? I'm not blaming you for that. I'm not blaming you for someone else's claims. So it's like only okay when you're platforming like allegations that might not be true.
You know, obviously you were pushing back.
And by the way, I just need to send a message to somebody who might be watching. Bug Squander, I know you're probably sitting either at your desk or in a voice chat somewhere watching this stream, and I want you to know I didn't get the VOD because you took down the link, as I'm sure you're aware. This is war, buddy. This is fucking war. Okay?
Still
You shall rue this day. You shall regret the day you ever decided to make that link go offline. I've never, ever, ever been... It wasn't personal with Cheeto. It's personal with you. Okay? It's personal with you.
think that giving airtime to that was irresponsible, but if I said so in a way...
$10 from Klungo. I saw someone fall off a building once, 4 stories. I was feeling like I had was the same, and you would... Huh?
That you thought was disrespectful.
I saw someone fall off a building once. The feeling I had was the same that you would feel while just waiting for a bus and bored. Damn, it's crazy. Thank you so much for the $10.
Well, then I'm sorry. You know, that's that. I was heated because of what was being said, as you can imagine. But, you know, I didn't want to come across disrespectful. I felt like, you know, I thought that what you were doing was irresponsible. I didn't have him call in to make allegations against you. He suddenly asked me without...
You welched on the deal, Aiden? I don't know what that word means. Isn't that like a cranberry juice or something? I don't know what that word means, but the deal should have been, out of the kindness of your heart, you gave me access to the recording, yet you didn't.
No, he suddenly asked without me knowing what he was going to say. Okay, well, okay, that's fair enough if you didn't know.
There's no voice. All I said was, because while I was in a VC with this guy, I got a voice message from a Cheeto, and there's nothing to listen to, right? It's just him trying to, like, settle the beef, or whatever the fuck. There's, like, nothing to listen to. I'm not gonna leak that.
And I apologize to you if you felt like I was talking in a way that
I never agreed I was gonna give it to you. I never agreed I was gonna give it to you.
Disrespectful. But as you can imagine, right? Like, just look at it from my perspective. Like, actually, like, be a little charitable here, right? You know, because before this, you were still making content against me, and then there's a stream where a person, you know, is doing this stuff.
I made one stream covering the Sniper Wolf shit. Then somebody calls in, brings up the Shrine allegations. I refute them to the point where that person scraps the video he was gonna make addressing those same allegations. Okay, and Queeman earlier was like, you'd be kind of mad. I think Queeman said this. He said, like, you'd be mad as well. Someone said this. You'd be mad as well. Someone was, like, making false allegations. Look what happened with the Jasmina document or whatever the fuck. And it's like, yes, I would be mad if somebody was perpetuating false allegations against me. I don't blame Machito if he's mad about what Morale did. Okay? But who I wouldn't be mad at, who I would not be mad at, is, like, if Queeman decided to fire up a stream and, like, say... yeah, this is obviously bullshit. This is, like, totally fake. I wouldn't be mad at Queeman for that at all. Which is my role in this, right?
All is forgiven. All right. Well, I honestly don't have a problem with you, bro. Like, I don't want to be disrespectful to you. You know, your community raids me. I want to do my own thing. You can do your own thing. You know. I genuinely, like, you know, I don't have any hatred towards you, you know, even though back in, like, 2017 when you would make content, and I was, like, 16 before I was even anyone on YouTube, I was probably annoying. I understand.
That's not, like, an issue I have with that. My biggest issue from that time period is the shit that happened with Weast. And this is indicative of a pattern of behavior. He'll take something that's very obviously a joke and try to... he's either deliberately misinterpreting it because he doesn't like the person in question, or, if I'm being good faith, he just can't pick up on what's a joke and what isn't. But for those that don't know, Weast was doing a stream making fun of Jesus. He's like, it's Easter, Jesus is dead... Rip Bozo, or whatever the fuck, right? A fucking atheist joke. Cringe kind of joke, whatever. A Cheeto gets really fucking offended by that, along with this guy called Vince, and they go into Weast's chat to try to argue with him. And Weast makes a joke about Vince. He's like, chat, get this kid's IP. Like an obvious joke. I've made the same joke before. And a Cheeto's like, you want to get a miner's IP or whatever the fuck? And like tries to like incite like G Fuel to not sponsor this guy. It was like a whole fucking thing. Super sensitive. But it was like, he was like getting the guy who makes edgy jokes, right? Was getting offended that somebody was making a joke about like Christianity. There's nothing to leak. Stop saying leak it. You're fucking banned, dude. There's nothing to leak. Oh my god. I'm tired of people telling me to leak shit that like doesn't exist, like non-content. Leak that. Can you leak your grocery fucking schedule from yesterday? Leak it. Leak it. Destroy your reputation for something we're gonna say is boring. Because it is boring. Yeah, dude. Let me just go and do that. Yeah. No problem, man. No problem.
Stand that, right? Nah, be disrespectful. No, because that's not productive. What I'm trying to get at is the root of all of this, right? Just make amends and never talk again. The thing is like, I get nothing out of being disrespectful.
Whoa.
I just don't.
The fuck? Hold on. My fucking camera fell. One sec. Dude, dick reveal? There we go. I think we fixed it. Okay, now we're too high up. Hold on. I knocked my desk and my camera fell. It's karma for not leaking. Hold on. There we go. I think I fixed it.
Right? I'm just trying to understand what I did against this person who I've been very nice to, right?
Sure, it fell, bro. Yeah, I purposely knocked it over. So fucking true. So true. I knocked it over on purpose.
If it was someone who I've never, met in person over multiple years and tried to
over multiple years
show nothing but kindness, and
I think I met him like once or twice. I think I met him like twice in person, but no, there's multiple years. True, very true. We're like on a whole nother level.
And amicability toward, then I would understand. It's actually,
yeah. I actually watched Queeman's coverage just a little bit. He is trying to like bargain with me right now. I've been nice to you, man. I've been nice to you.
Really easy to hate someone you've never met. And someone that you've, just seen clips of and stuff like that, right? That I fully understand, right? But, I don't know. I can't really do anything about it. Just get mods. No, I understand that, bro. It's not your fault, but.
So I was trying to be a little nice to him and like understanding in this chat, thinking like, okay, maybe we could move somewhere with this, right?
When you're stream sniping, obviously, just don't do that. I would appreciate if you...
This part is gay, because he then goes on, he's, like, being nice, or whatever, and he's talking, and I actually leave the stream at one point, and he's still talking about me.
Irrelevant, right? And, yeah.
Like, if I beef Noah Sampson, it's not really personal, because I don't know.
I obviously know how to navigate that. And...
It's kind of like a relationship conversation, like, I met his parents.
No, I did. I mean, I did, bro.
Wait, what?
Like a relationship.
I obviously know how to navigate that. With that, I obviously know how to navigate that. 100%. You're right. No, 100% you're right. Like, people will try to like use me for content. 100%. With that, I obviously know how to navigate that. And
it's kind of like a relationship conversation, like, I met his parents.
No, I did. I mean, I did. Bro.
I think he misspoke. He has actually never met my parents. That's not true.
I mean, there's a difference though, where it's like most of the people who are gonna try this are gonna be fucking people that I've never interacted with, like IRL, and who mean nothing to me, and who are going to be like.
I shouldn't. It's weird that I mean something to you. I honestly shouldn't mean anything to you. Like the extent of our he's right. We've been cordial at times, and I did meet him through hanging out with other people like twice. I shouldn't mean anything to you. There should be no. That's the weird part. I should mean absolutely nothing.
Right.
Very irrelevant, right? And yeah.
Like if I beef Noah Sampson, it's not really personal because I don't know him.
He says, I guess I get what you mean. I don't really distinguish between the two that much, so meeting someone IRL does not change a ton for me. Yeah, I mean, you don't view it that way. I do.
This is gay, so I'm trying to be understanding. We essentially move on, and then I have like a way of typing in chats. That's like how we all type if you're in like this space, right? Dude, this blank guy sucks. Whatever. And he's doing the debate with Nux, and I kind of like get a little bit like I think we're like friendly now or whatever. So, you know, I just type like that was insane or whatever the fuck. Like kind of being facetious a little bit. And he gets sensitive again. I think he ends up
Seriously,
banning me
thank you
from
for
chat.
taking the time, like actually, and we can do this again. Like, what we'll do next time, I'll actually structure it so we're not going like fucking all over the place. It'll actually be
Hell yeah.
It'll be better. It'll be better.
Sounds good.
And we'll,
And
bro, have a great day. You're welcome. He wouldn't have came on here if it wasn't for me. What? This was so cool because I popped a perk. Okay. So guys, what do we think about that? This is unironically the worst thing you've ever done.
So I say that. I say I'm being like facetious. I'm being facetious. Okay, I'm not being like dead ass here. But you said unironically. Yeah, I know what the word means. I use it as a filler word sometimes where I shouldn't. Like it's saying like literally. Like if I said this is literally the worst thing you've ever done, I don't actually mean it's literal. It's just a common filler word. But he like interprets it as like well, you said unironically. So you really do think this is the worst thing I've ever done. No way he skips the debate. No, I'm doing the debate after. I am doing the debate after the Nux. But that's a separate segment. So I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do your conversation with him about me, and then I'm gonna do the Nux Israel conversation.
What? What are you talking about? Also, why are you still in my chat? I thought you were like going to sleep.
I never said I was going to sleep. So I was being a little facetious, and then he gets like sensitive again.
I had a conversation with someone.
This is where I realized there's probably not much hope. Right? We had like a genuine discussion through chat, and then I make like a facetious comment, and he gets really defensive about that. And that's like when that's when like I realized to myself like, yeah, there's no hope here.
Confused.
$2 from Space Station. You and Kui are meaningful because I get to say, are Goyim okay? Okay, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
You let him get away with so much? Okay. I asked him plenty of questions. I think that was totally fair. I literally got, I mean, look, bro. He said Hassan.
Does this guy like ever stream? What? Actually do content? What? I am doing content. Like, what's your problem? What's your issue? Lyrics type streamer? What? What?
Hassan said something, and I got him to admit that, like, he doesn't know if he's a terrorist or not. He said he is a terrorist, and then he says, I don't really know. So I think I'd definitely push back if his opinion got changed. But whatever, bro. It's not like you even watch my content anyway. Guy comes in here and he's like, this is the worst thing you've ever done. It's like, bro, you don't even, like, watch my streams. Whatever.
I was being facetious, you fucking retard.
Bro, it's all good.
So yeah, that's when I realized there's no hope. So Queeman hopes to capitalize on this, right? This is the cycle. I make the content for these people. They cover it, and then they complain about my streams. Aiden's streams are so boring. There was like a month where like every week Chud would cover something that like I had done, or someone had done on my stream, and he's like, "These streams suck, man." And it's like, you wouldn't have this wonderful content right now if I never streamed.
Okay, yeah, so she sends me the shrine tour, and then I said, okay, you're not actually mentally ill, right? Like, I like the memes and stuff, but you're doing good. Like, yeah, I can send the screenshot if you want to put it up. Here. Because I didn't actually, I couldn't fully grasp how mentally ill this person was until I watched the video, because obviously, it's like I said before, they're just kind of accounts posting. I didn't really understand the
Well, would you say that
severity,
was kind of
like,
probably like a slightly irresponsible way to act, to just like message? He's like, why did you platform that? Why did you platform that? And then Aiden started covering his streams. That was it. I remember where this started.
So Cheetah's calling in now about this, I'd imagine.
Yeah, we just
Dude, this guy is so boring.
Hello, Cheeto.
Hello?
Hi, how's it going?
Adjust your hair. I'm getting a haircut. It stands up in the back, bro. I'm getting a haircut on like Monday.
I can't hear you. Let me fix that. Hello?
Hi.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm good. Do you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How'd you get the Emma Frost thing on your profile picture?
I don't know. There was some quest for it, and on Discord, like, you have to play like 3 games of Rivals or whatever.
Oh,
It
shit.
gives it to you.
Yeah, I want to get that.
Marvel Rivals is such an ass game. This Queeman guy, like, just likes playing, like, straight up ass. It's, like, so fucking funny, dude. He plays, like, the worst games of all time. Like, all day. It's, like, all day. It's, like, actually hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah, bro. Basically, I'm just watching your stream here, and you said that...
I didn't watch this full convo, so I'm a little scared that, like, Queeman's gonna make, like, a joke or some sort of facetious comment, and he's gonna take it, like, very literally and get offended.
I'm, like, the commentary YouTuber, but I don't want people to, like, farm me for content.
Yeah, that
and
seems
I
to
have
be
no
what's going
problem with
on.
people-
Yeah.
No, I have no people. I have no problem with people farming me for content.
I think you do, obviously.
I just was trying to understand what his personal issue was with me, and I think that my issue was
Just so you
that
know, he's called in before and asked this exact question, and I've like explained any problems I have with him. But these are problems a lot of people have that normally I wouldn't just cover someone just for having these problems alone. The main thing is he's just very sensitive.
that he was trying to downplay the amount that he was farming me.
You
and
play
it's
Hoi
like,
for
I
it,
feel like if you're gonna farm me, at
true.
least stand on it, right?
But
You know what that means?
I thought you were also up playing it though, right? Because you're saying that he's like raiding you like every stream, and then it seemed
True.
like it was like a couple times.
I'm
that he's coming
surprised
to your chat.
Queeman picked up on that.
Sure. I mean, a couple times, obviously, you know, I'll hyperbole it. Yeah, I'll admit that I probably overplay it, but
Oh,
definitely
just immediately bending over, bro. This is bad, man. This is bad.
more than I guess you could say that I'm overplaying it, but he's definitely underplaying it. So it's somewhere in the middle.
Sure.
It's not like it's like public, right? So it's not as though like this entire beef has been litigated through like public streams. So it'd be like very hard for me to misrepresent the nature of my coverage of you without getting called on it, right? Oh wait, it is like entirely fucking public.
Sure. I just feel like saying
Yeah.
like when you
And I
say
don't
he's
care. Like,
raiding,
I don't care if anyone wants to make fun of me. You know, people think that I'm upset that he said my bed was unmade. I do have to make my bed.
Bed reference, dude. We're so back. We won so hard. We actually got an official bed mention. We actually have an official, dude. Make the bed, man. He did it. Official mention. The bed is our MVP of the night.
Bed more. It's sloppy. Make fun of me. Make fun of my nose. Make fun of the way I speak. Whatever. Throw slurs
Did I ever make fun of his nose? I could have. I probably did.
at me. I don't care.
Throw slurs at you. What slurs have I thrown? Oh, I think I've called him retarded.
But then it's like, don't go around and say that you're not using it for content or
Have I ever said I'm not using him for content? Have I ever said that? Or is that not like the like greatest straw man of like all time?
that there is
10, dude, Klungo is like single-handedly funding this fucking stream tonight. Klungo, sorry, last dono, so mean spirit. Why'd you say your own name? Dude, thank you so much. That's insanely fucking generous. What the fuck? Our biggest... Dude, I got a stream during, like, Australian hours. These guys, like, my most generous fucking donators.
there is a
Well, I
you know,
don't think. I
deeper
think his
meaning
issue
behind
was
all
that
of
you,
this.
you said he was raiding you, and like
Yeah.
I feel like usually when I hear commentary YouTubers talk about raiding or brigading, that's an intentional.
99 cents from Kinetic Kel. A hot dog with ketchup. Kinetic Kel, long time no see. You should use that money to fix your car. I heard you got into another accident.
We're coordinating and going into your chat. I'm sending people to your
Yeah.
chat. Not just I'm talking about you on stream and people are going and fucking with you because that's what they're doing.
Don't you think it's a bit nuanced though? Because if you're watching someone stream live on your stream,
That's the actual one. Okay.
there's a higher chance of them going into your
I was riding a scooter. Didn't you literally use up every single AAA call you got in 1 year? Isn't it true that your back windshield is being like held together with with cardboard, and like you have a mirror, a rear view mirror that is being held together with duct tape. I'm not even joking about that. I've actually heard that.
chat than just watching you like your VODs or stuff like what you're doing?
Sure, there's a higher chance, but I don't think you have responsibility for it.
Why do
unless
you
you're-
know that? Why do I know what? That your blood type is O negative?
actively engaging in that?
I just think that there's there's 100% more chance, because if it's live, then there's actually a chat to go into, right?
Yeah, I agree. There's more chance, but I just don't think you have responsibility for those chatters doing that if you haven't told them to do it or specifically encouraged it in any way.
Exactly. Like he says he's not arguing that I need to stop covering him, but the only thing that I could do to meet his burden is to stop covering him, right? He knows that I'm not directly sending people to go raid him. All right, fair enough. So then what do I need to do? What do I need to do? He's like, oh, well, you're responsible because it's because you talk about me. Yeah, so I need to stop covering you? Not duct tape? That's not on my streams, bruh. What's not on your stream? That your cars be... Because I had Colton on here for a stream where we were talking about... I think you did a call, this Discord call with the British guy that records everything, right? And in that call, your car breaks down. You admit that you've used up all your AAA calls, so you can't call someone to pick you up. So your best course of action is to walk down the highway to try to hitchhike. While talking to some random shitter on Discord. And then on that same stream, Colton basically said, you're a horrible driver. Your mirror is falling off, and your back windshield is being held together by cardboard. How do you use up 4 AAA calls in 1 fucking year? How bad of a you should not be allowed to drive. It is a public safety concern that they still allow you on the road, because it is inevitable that you go off a fucking cliff or something.
I understand there's a base level of encouragement whenever you cover someone's content, and that's slightly higher when it's live. But I don't think that alone...
it's not slightly high.
There should be a threshold where when you get into a certain number of accidents, you should just not be allowed to drive.
It's massively higher. If I pulled up your stream and I'm live, and
I
I'm
wouldn't say it's
basically
massively higher. I
I
think it's just the case that live stream viewers are more engaged. It's not that
Yes.
there's a
Yep.
more high chance that someone's that you're gonna encourage someone
And keep in mind, I think I only covered him while he was live once.
to go do it, because a video is going to usually get a lot more views. You're going to hit more people, but with less viewers, you can get someone to go and do something in a live stream because they are more engaged,
Right.
because they do type.
My main, yeah.
But
No,
yeah, I
get
just
what
don't
you're
think you
saying.
can place
My main
responsibility on Aiden.
issue-
I think his problem is that you said he was raiding,
Which
as
I
if-
wasn't. Because when you say I'm raiding, the implication is that I've organized and I've coordinated these people to be coming into your chat. That's not what's happening. Then the characterization that I raided you is just false.
as if he had the responsibility for just because he's talking about you, he wants to cover your stream while it's live, that those people going into your chat, that's his fault. It's not really, he doesn't control he doesn't control those people. That's their decision.
What is though? So he's not telling me to not cover him, by the way, but I'm at fault if people raid him while I'm covering him. So what am I supposed to do?
Well, if you're gonna if it's part of your stream to pull up someone else's live stream and then shit on them for
One time, literally, I think one time I pulled you up while you were actively live.
an hour, then it's if people are gonna go in their chat, And here's what I'll say, right? I think if that's what you want to say, that it's well, I'm gonna do this and that's how it is and that's how I do my show, that's fine. But then don't act like it's I feel like when you frequently see, okay, interesting. Every time I watch this guy's live stream while I'm live and I shit.
By the way, quick shill. For those of you that want to donate, we have super chats now. You can also donate through the Streamlabs link. And for those of you that want to I'm stealing this from Queeman. We're trying to create a more active community. So for any of you that want to be my awk or yeet on Twitter, let me know and just start like tweeting clips of me as if they're news. And yeah, and join the Discord and join the Reddit.
On him, there's an influx of my viewers going into his chat. And
Actually, Queeman stole that from me because I think he took that. He steals a lot from it.
And not rating. I mean, you know, we'll just say there's an influx of viewers going into his chat and spamming, you know, all of these things that happen, right?
Is it,
I think
is it AG4L? Is that what they say?
Just anything. They're just spamming like all sorts of shit. You know, I mean, that's part of it. You know, it's like
I wonder, like, because the AG4L is how he's probably identifying that they're like viewers of mine. So I wonder if there have been instances where he'll actually just get like unrelated spam in his chat, and he'll just blame that on me, anyways, because he's saying they'll spam anything. So like every time this guy gets spammed, does he assume it's me?
also all kinds of stuff. And again, if that's how you do it, then fair play, right? But then don't act like it's like, oh, well, I don't know what's happening, you know, I have no, and it's just like, bro, you do, you know?
Well, he knows what's happening. No, I don't think Aiden's saying he doesn't know what's happening. I think he's taking issue specific.
It's your burden, right? If I've done my part, I've told people not to do it, I can absolutely cover you, and you just get mods and moderate your own chat, right? It's really not that hard.
Particularly with you saying that you're getting raided by him, because that implies that he's coordinating, that he's sending people over.
You could say you're getting raided, but to say that I'm the one raiding, your viewers are brigading me, would be maybe like a more accurate statement. But to say that I am raiding you, you're saying I'm doing something to you, right? I'm perpetrating an action against you that I have absolutely, that I've actively discouraged people from doing.
He's covering
what
you.
Is coordinated?
He covers you. It's not coordinated at all. He just covers you on stream, and people desperately go over into your chat.
I mean, I guess
it's coordinated. So is he now gonna like walk it back, and he thinks I'm coordinating
what you're saying is that just because he's not explicitly saying
it's not even like
level of,
as far as I know,
it's not that I'm even like hinting at it. I've outright stated the opposite. I've outright said, don't fucking raid him. I've literally just said that, like, outright.
Granting him.
There's like some kind of like implicit thing that you could do.
Y'all are about to hate me because I always felt like Kel was misunderstood. She made mistakes, I know, but also Aiden hates women. I hate What is this I hate women allegation? Huh?
Where you're like, oh, I need to get this guy in a call. I need to get this guy in a call. Someone get this guy in a call with me. Well, you're not necessarily saying go into his chat and raid him, but you are obviously encouraging. You're encouraging some kind of action. There's like some kind of implicit thing that could be happening there. But I don't think just him covering you while live. I don't think you can start accusing him of raiding you. I feel like that's a bit like you're trying to basically say that he's doing. He's taking some kind of action that's
that's what I said,
outside of the usual scope of.
Someone else is doing something as a result of my coverage against you. If you want to make some sort of moral condemnation against me, you have to condemn the notion. You have to condemn the action of me covering you, because that's the only action that's relevant to what's happening. So you can't then fall back on, well, I'm not saying you shouldn't cover me. That's not what I'm talking about. Then what are you talking about? Because you're making a condemnation of my actions, and that's the only related action that can be attributed to me.
Coverage or commentary, right? That's.
I mean, you call Xylee a hag, okay? I call Riveter. I call tons of people old. I call a lot of people old.
That's what raid. Right. It's like raiding is like a specific thing that's usually.
But don't attack other men on their age or look. Have you not been like? Have you never watched my streams? I've never attacked another man for his looks. Really? 99 cents from Kinetic Kel. 100 underlined twice. Thank you.
Taking it a step further. Not everyone thinks it's like the worst thing in the world, but it's a step further than just commentary. And Aiden just sees what he's doing as commentary and coverage.
Okay. Yeah, I just think that if every time you cover someone while they're alive and you're
one time, by the way.
Live, and you notice the repeated pattern of an influx of
literally one time
viewers entering their chat and spamming and all of these things, that you are at least aware of the fact that if you do it like another time, that the same outcome will.
Sure.
I don't think I ever did it another time. I could have, and I might be forgetting. So we could even say 2, but it would be 2 at most. It'd be 2 at most. Because he doesn't leave his streams up, so the only way I'd be watching is if I caught him like while he left this one up, probably because he got criticized for it. But the only way I'd be able to is if I actually was like coincidentally live while he was, and I have a super regular schedule. I think I've only actually covered him twice. I can personally say that I've been called a hag in your chat at 27, but Nick is 29 and nobody calls him old. Nor have I ever called you old for being 20. What? What is this project? I don't think I've ever called. What? I've never called you old. Someone else said something to you, so that's also my fault. Is Nick even 29? I'm not sure. That'd be crazy if he is. That is old.
He's
be
definitely, he
present,
knows
you know?
it's happening, and he knows it annoys you, so he's
Yeah.
going to keep doing it.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, I would just prefer, like, if he wants to farm me, farm.
Yeah, if you're saying men's looks don't get made fun of, that's like the go-to thing that everybody has for Dioria. What?
I mean, but just, just get the VODs, just do the clips, just so you know. That's just, like, I feel like infinitely better, because then there's just, like, no spam.
I can't.
It's just...
That's a super dishonest argument, right? Because he doesn't leave them up. He literally doesn't leave them up. And actually, he's like, this is the other problem, and I should have called him on this. There's an insinuation that I keep covering him while he's live. I just don't. I've covered him once or twice while he was actively live.
A better way to do content,
Sure. So what have you spoken to Aiden recently? Are you planning to ask him or hash out on stream what your issues are, or?
I mean, I talked to him last night. I shot him a message after my stream, and essentially, I really don't have an issue with the guy. I don't have issues with most, like, on a personal level. Most people who shit talk me, I don't really care.
I don't believe that for a minute, but it's okay.
About like
I didn't say you personally, but you are harboring a community. Hello? And if I'm wrong about his age, even worse. Maybe Nick is 28. If we're the same age and I'm being called a hag, well, he... All I wanted was, like, a community of my own. Right? Oh, that's all I wanted. We built something a little small, right? Little small, tiny community. But now I realize this is like a fucking nightmare, because now you're just gonna get blamed for, like, everything that they do. You're just gonna get blamed for everything they do.
like, because there's plenty of content shitting on me. But with him specifically, I think it got to me because this is like, 5 months
I empathize with Hassan Piker. I empathize with Hassan.
of like, he's kind of like, not every day, but, using me for content. For however much content he's made about me, I've made 0 on him. This is the first time I've like actually addressed him.
Sure, but I know that I've done way worse to people in terms of coverage than what Aiden's done to you, and I'm sure.
Yeah, holy shit! Like, I was thinking, like, can you imagine if a cheetah was getting covered by like somebody like Queeman or Pepsi? Can you imagine if Queeman treated a cheetah like he treats Stardust?
Or if I haven't watched a whole lot of your content, but I'm sure if I went through your channel, I'm
quite
sure there
deservedly.
are some people that you've.
Y'all just hate women. Oh, did I say I stand up for How is this discourse happening in my chat right now? How did we get here? How exactly did this conversation go to like respecting women? There are no, like, I don't think there are any women involved in this situation.
You've done content on that you've done like a lot of content on, and they've probably never spoken about you. So the idea that he's done
What is going on right now?
so much content on me over this period of time, and I've never even spoken about him once or whatever. That doesn't really stack up
Okay, if you want to call in, Tay, you're like welcome to call in and discuss this.
to me because I mean that's what we all do. That's the game.
Yeah, I think that if and it's not going to be easy to convey this message to people in chat, because I feel like they kind of see it all the same, and that's fine. I'm not gonna be able to break that barrier. But I think specifically what's different here is that for every 1,000 videos that somebody makes on me, I think I can ignore the 1,000 videos, but whereas
This one's different, man. We were like brothers. We were so close. It was like we were like on like a different like plane together, man. It was like I don't like, it's like, this is the weird part. I don't like when people like overplay how like close they, like, he probably couldn't tell you like anything about me.
you know, when it's someone, because like I've known this kid genuinely for like 7 years or something like that, and so it goes far deeper than
7
just like some random
years?
shitter making.
You feel like
content
it's
on me.
like a
Yeah.
friend almost.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's fucking not. We've spoken like on and off for 7 years. At least half of that time was us beefing, and the other time was us being like cordial. Wait, hold on.
We sort of, talking shit on you as opposed to just like a random person.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, friend, maybe not friend, maybe acquaintance.
Let you in? You're not there. You're not even in call-ins. Where are you? I don't even see you. I don't know how though. I'm Boomer. So you join the. Oh, you're getting mad that people are calling you a hag, but you're literally in my chat, like talking about how old you are. Just go and join the call-in VC. It says call-in. You click on it. You hit join. Or someone else wants to call in. Hello? Hello? Can I help you? Okay. Thanks for calling in. Hello?
Hi, Aiden. I've missed you so much. I love you. I love you, Aiden.
Thanks.
Where have you been?
Away.
I love you. How's our sleepy time calls going?
Alright, thanks for calling in. Tay, you're on the air.
How's our sleepy time calls going? Thanks for calling in.
Hello?
Am I?
Yeah, you're here. So I'll make this quick because I'm on another segment. I don't want to get derailed for too long. So you seem to have some sort of issue right now? With something?
Hold on. Hold on. I don't know. Do you have an issue? I don't know. You told me to call. You told me to call in.
I called in because you were airing out some grievances in chat.
I don't know. You literally told me to call in. I don't know. You told me to call in.
Wait, are you
so I
also
called in.
are you also Tay Perks in chat?
I am, but if you want to be real, my name is Taya.
Oh wait.
My name, my. I know. I say I'm boomer raised, and it's true. My mom is in her 60s. She's old. My name is Taya. Taya. Like it's supposed to be spelled Taya.
So okay, so you want me to call you Tay or Taya?
My name is Taya. Like my family doesn't call me Tay. My name is Taya.
Okay.
It's spelled in French. There's supposed to be an accent above the E. My name is Taya. I've always wanted to say that in your chat.
Are you
I'm
drunk?
so
Just out of
sorry.
curiosity.
Sorry?
Are you drunk?
I'm not. I smoked marijuana, but I'm not drunk.
Okay. Okay. Well, somebody else wanted to talk to you, I guess. So, Jojo, you said you want to talk to Tay? Hello? Your mic isn't working. Okay. You know your mic isn't. Wait, I think I can. You just lit up there for a sec. Hello? Wait, you're lighting up. I don't know why I can't hear you.
I can't hear
I can't.
either.
Okay. Well, all right. Anyways, we'll make this quick. So you have an issue. You think chat's being mean to women?
No, I think you are. I don't even think chat is.
You
I
think-
think
you
you
think-
specifically are.
You think I'm being mean to women?
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about a woman on this segment.
I think whenever you see a woman pop up in chat, you're specifically cruel. I'll say that.
Because I talked about Kinetic Kel's like car being like destroyed.
Whenever you see anything about Kel, you talk about her very cruel. And I have a lot of criticism about Kel too. I won't lie. I think a lot of things she's done is cringe. At the same time, I understand that she's a young woman that has been through a lot, and so has these young commentary men. So I guess I don't understand why you're so young on her specifically, while you're not as hard on a lot of other people.
Okay, I haven't spoken about Kinetic Kel in like months because I agree that she's not like that bad. All right, we were a-logging her. It was kind of funny to laugh at her, but she's not like that bad. She was just being like cringe and like a social climber or whatever. That's why I haven't spoken about her. She came into chat. I was being a little facetious. I made some jokes. I don't think it was like that like offensive to like talk about the fact she's like a horrible driver. That has nothing to do with her being a woman. She just can't fucking drive.
She's in the chat. That's what the only reason why I brought her up. I didn't bring her up to be problematic or to start anything.
Well, that's the only reason I that's the only reason I brought her up too. It had nothing to do with the fact she's a woman.
And that's why I guess the conversation started. I didn't start talking about women or feminism because of anything other than Kel joined the chat and I was just saying.
You got impassioned. I get it. Okay, I get it. All right. Well, as long as we have an understanding, I think I'm gonna get back to my segment. Thanks for coming in.
Okay, thank you.
Bye bye.
Acquaintance, but you know, long history. I think we've showed mutual
Why is she not-
friendship over
Okay.
the years, and I've treated him with kindness. And then it's just, I think when you go back, and so basically this all started because
Because of
there
the
was
morale
a
stuff, right? It
stream.
was,
Yeah. So he basically had a stream where someone was peddling an accusation against me that I pretty easily disproved. And
Aiden, can you hurry this up, please? Queeman is getting antsy in the VC because he hasn't heard his own voice for 5 minutes.
I was frustrated because I felt like because he disliked me, or after what had happened where I had fucked up the coverage of Sniper Wolf. So basically, like around August of last year,
It wasn't, just to be clear, it wasn't just that he fucked up the coverage. Inevitably, when you're like covering as many topics as these people are, it's totally feasible somebody will get lazy and get something wrong. The issue with this was, right, he got the whole thing wrong, like the whole premise was fake. But even then, right, a lot of people got this one wrong, and it kind of had to make them reflect, like, hey, I'm a sloppy YouTuber, I can't really get sloppy with my research, though. The issue was never that. The problem was the inability to concede, right? If I were in his shoes, I'd say, you know what, I didn't do like any effort for my research, and I realized, like, that's like kind of cringe, and I can't be like, I'm a lazy person, but I can't be lazy in that regard. So next time I'm gonna vet and I'm gonna take the video down. You're like totally right. Move on. Nobody would even like fucking remember it. Does anyone remember like the other people that also got that coverage wrong? No, the problem was he had an inability to concede.
made a video about Sniper Wolf, which was misinformation. And I actually doubled down on not deleting it, which was my fault. And I really fucked up there. And I take full accountability for that because it's like, ultimately, I was putting like my pride and my ego above the truth.
Okay, so, okay.
And
that's what I said.
So I think what would happen is that like Aiden was covering that, and he basically had said that I was spreading the misinformation, and after that, and because I hadn't gone on call with him to like address that, because he wanted me to call him and talk about why I had done that, and I didn't. And then so I think because he couldn't get a hold of me, he had this other person who was going to talk shit about me on the stream, and this person ended.
That's a lie. That's not true. The stream where I covered all of that shit was one of my first streams back, and that was the stream where we made fun of the bed. That was the stream. The morale allegation stream, whatever the fuck, that was a totally separate stream, right? I could be totally wrong on that. Those are two different streams. He's acting like I couldn't get him in call. I could be. Am I wrong about this? I don't think that's what happened, right? Because the Sniper Wolf shit. Because I remember exactly what stream. The Sniper Wolf shit was on a stream from 6 months ago called "A Cheeto is Losing It." Then the next day, I had the craziest commentary debate ever. Right? We're covering John Swan shit, and then how does morale get in there? I think he comes in right here.
This document ended up catching the attention of
My name is like
guys.
Of a document.
So you kind
For a Cheeto. Answer.
What do you want?
people were telling you.
So morale starts calling me. I pick up. This guy want. Yo, what?
If he doesn't answer.
What do you want?
Aiden, you're sweeping.
For who?
For a Cheeto.
Why would I be sweeping for a Cheeto?
I don't
So
know.
I don't know what he's calling in to talk about. He called me and I brought him on. The stream Achito's referencing is a completely different fucking stream. He's acting like I brought morale on out of like spite because he didn't call in. That's not true. I was covering a whole nother subject. Morale called me. I didn't know what he was going to talk about.
Up, and I don't think he knew this, but the person that he had on the stream ended up making an accusation against me, and the accusation was just
like I'm at fault. The person you had on your stream made an accusation against someone else, against some journalist, called him a terrorist or whatever the fuck, right? And your defense is, oh well, I gave him pushback. Well, guess what? I did the exact same thing with morale. So I don't think there's any criticism. You're just like finding reasons to get mad.
pretty gross and untrue.
He got mad that I made fun of him. He couldn't admit that, so he found another reason to get mad.
And I had screenshots to disprove most of what he was saying.
So is this the one where the 17-year-old girl or whatever was making shrines on Twitter, or like the Adia girl made the shrine for Tom,
or yes,
and then you replied to her tweet asking for a shrine too, and then this other girl.
In hindsight, like, yeah, that's super fucking cringe. To paint it as like anything predatory is like weird as fuck, but like in hindsight, like that just like kind of lets you know, like, dude, this guy's ego is huge, bro, huge.
Oh, who was like 17 replied, and then you were like, yeah, sure, make me a shrine or something, right?
Right. So I think, I mean, obviously I have like no idea how old any of these people are. They're just like Twitter accounts who are posting. And so I was just like, I saw this tweet about like the Tom shrine, and I was like, make one for me or whatever, or some shit like that.
And then he asked another person too. Like it wasn't like a quick off the bat thing. He likes the idea of like being worshipped.
Because I was gonna make a video calling it crazy, like some old Leafy style content. Looking back, very cringe. Obviously, I shouldn't like beg.
Yo, can you guys say goodbye to Hellbent like 8 more times? Why don't we just like roll out the fucking red carpet for Hellbent's departure? Nobody cares that you're leaving the stream, Hellbent. Literally nobody.
Content like that, pretty down bad in terms of like, oh, content drought, whatever, makes sense. And ultimately, like, what had happened is that like she didn't respond. The girl from the post didn't respond. But this other girl did respond, and then she made this shrine, and she was like, "I made this shrine," and I was like, "Okay, would you want to like record a video of it, like, and I could put it in a video?" And then she did, and then upon seeing the video, I basically was kind of disturbed, and I had messaged her basically saying that I was uncomfortable putting it in the video because based on what I was seeing, this person actually is displaying signs of pretty significant mental illness, so I decided to not post the video making fun of her, and I also was just like, you know, tone it down a bit, like, you know, this is kind of crazy.
Was that before or after she put up a tweet saying, "Should I stop taking my meds?" and you replied to that one?
I don't remember.
Wait, no, it must have been before, because wasn't it? The tweet was like, "Should I stop taking my meds and make a cheat of a shrine?"
This was where I had a contention with Queeman, right? And I actually made a concession to him on this, right? I felt like he was looking way too much into the should I stop taking my meds thing. Like it was just like an edgy, like e-girl kind of fucking tweet. That's what I thought. But yeah, like from a creator perspective, like even if that is the case, it would still be like pretty irresponsible. I think I definitely did not go as hard on this point as I should have. The problem is, right, I was so like against the insinuation of predatory behavior. I went like completely the other way. I think there are genuine criticisms in hindsight, which I admit I did not give and actually actively disagree with at the time. In hindsight, I think there are genuine criticisms that can be made against him in regards to this, but it's not like related to the thing morale, like the angle morale was coming at it from.
I can pull up here. I can pull up the screenshot where let me go find the screenshot. Let me go find this. Let me see this. Here. Because I messaged it to Aiden around the time, or it was the night that this happened. Do you know what his Discord is?
Okay, I don't really care about relitigating. But why is he asking if he literally DM'd me like last night, the night before the stream?
Or not where is it, but like make a video of it.
Well, I mean,
so
you
can,
had
like, use it for
initially
content.
asked under this tweet, and then I think there was another tweet that she made in like the week or something after, where she said, "Should I stop taking my meds and make a Cheeto shrine or something like that?" And
Right.
You replied to that, yes.
Well, that had to have been before because I hadn't
And
actually seen the video.
And that's when and then obviously after that.
Then
she
I
comes
see
to
it.
you
Then
in
I see it.
DMs.
And then I'm like, well, yeah, because the meds thing is like a meme where it's like, oh, I'm not on my meds. Like, that's like.
That's how I read it. That's how I read it. Like a fucking like e-girl trying to like be edgy or whatever. That was my like contention with Queeman, right? I thought that like he was reading too much into that.
And you might see it as a meme, but it seems less like a meme if then later on you speak to her. And you're like, oh, wait, you're actually
Well, that's
mentally ill,
exactly
right. Yeah.
100%. Well, yeah, because then I actually see it. I'm like, oh shit, this person is clearly not
that's,
all
that's,
there.
That's what I mean.
I'm
is
not
like,
gonna make
if
a
you see
video on
like
them.
but possibly, obviously don't know the exact ages, but possibly teenage, 17 to 19.
He was a teenager too at this point in time, right?
Of range, possibly teenage person talking about not taking their meds.
But he should be he was a significantly older teenager and he should be of the understanding that like, yes, it's probably like irresponsible for me to like joke around like this in the sense of like don't take your meds or whatever the fuck, because they could actually take it seriously if they're actually like a schizo, right?
It's possibly the sort of thing you want to just hands off
avoid, yeah.
right? You probably
but I don't think it's like I don't think Queeman thinks this either. It's not like a huge point of contention or not point of contention. It's not like a huge condemnation. It's just like a reckless thing to do.
To be responsible, just not get involved in the first place, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, and I would never do that now. Like,
yeah, okay,
100%.
Sure.
But again, I think, basically the narrative that was being driven by the guy on the Aiden stream was that I was like getting off to this somehow, right? That I was like exploiting this was the narrative, and the wording was so deceptive and charged that I was essentially.
And everybody sided with me on that, right?
And people still they still frame the situation like this, and there's nothing I can really do.
They don't frame it like that because of my stream. The people he's talking about were making tweets about this prior to my stream. Almost anyone who watched my stream and my coverage of this left that stream with the impression Morales is Spurg, Cheetah didn't do anything, right? I'm not at fault. There's nothing I did wrong here. He's like, he platformed false allegations against me, and he's tripled down on it. No. Somebody called into my stream and made false allegations against you without notifying me beforehand. Or not false, made misleading allegations against you, which I didn't know beforehand, and I gave adequate pushback to it, right? So he's like now taking this thing where I actually did something good, and he's like trying to frame it against me because he's actually mad about something else.
Because it just I don't know, like people are gonna run with it, and I think they do it because they know it's not true, and it's just like funny, I guess. They think it's funny to say that like, oh, I'm getting off to getting shrines of me or something like that.
Well, I feel like
when he says get off, I don't think Mariah used that wording. Mariah was definitely making like some sort of like predatory insinuation, but if we say get off in the sense of like knowing that people are making shrines of you, it probably brings you pleasure. I believe that in a non-sexual way. Like that seems to be like totally rooted in like in ego. That seems to be completely rooted in ego. You see people like essentially worshiping Tom, and like you want that. You want that.
People probably also do it a little bit because it does feel like you're playing quite a careful game with how you talk about it, where it's like you're down bad because of the content drought. It's like, well, yeah, I'm sure it is like a significant amount of it is for content, but I think there is also an element where either you enjoy the attention of female Twitter users, or you thought it was cool that there were girls making shrines for Tom. You thought that was a cool thing that made him look.
It's like having groupies. He probably like the notion of like having groupies or like being worshipped or whatever the fuck is like, it probably like brings him, I'm not saying it's sexual pleasure, but like his ego probably like it really like inflates it.
Cool, and you want people to do that for you
Yeah.
as well. Well, there's something else going on there that's drawing you to this.
Whoa, I forgot to
this type of interaction.
No, just content. I grew up watching Leafy is Here, and he would have that guy Dominic Schmidt say his name for content.
That's totally different. That's totally different. For those of you that don't know, Dominic Schmidt is like a perpetual attention whore. And back in the day, I was against everybody giving this guy any sort form of attention. He would go to people and he'd make them an offer. I'll be embarrassing if you make videos on me. He loved fucking it like to an insane extent. And he was like, before I even knew this, he sent me a video of him writing my name on a piece of paper, putting it in a toilet bowl filled with piss, and then eating the piss-soaked paper. And then he started like calling me, being like, make more videos on me, man. Like actually like manic. I'm like, I'm not talking about you, dude. It's like insane. It's a fucking crazy person.
I just don't believe it is 100%. There's not like everyone has multiple thoughts in their head at a time. I don't believe that it was purely for content. That seems like that.
Well, if
the
most of
only
my
thing you were
content is
thinking
about
was
other
content.
people, and I actually get it. Well, when I say content drought, I mean you look at my channel around this time period, and it's mostly talking about, you know, other content creators, and this would have been my opportunity to, you know, audience capture moment, get more people interested in content about me. So that was kind of the motive. You know?
Yeah, you want people to worship you, bro.
Sure, but there's a part of that where I feel like it plays into an image that you want. Where
Yes.
you see the way Tom gets treated by these fangirls.
For
and you kinda
sure.
want,
That's what I was
want
saying.
some of that.
He wants to be simped over.
No, not at all.
Okay.
That's just dishonest.
I think most people.
Will Queeman give him pushback? Nope. Because Queeman's gone soft, folks. Nobody's saying it, I'll be honest. This Queeman guy has gotten so soft recently, man. Do you see how he was when he spoke to Lex? He just lets people get away with it now, man. I remember they used to tell tales about this guy, about how he was relentless. Where's this relentless Queeman we've heard of?
I think most people are gonna struggle to believe that.
I mean, I don't even read comments. Like, I don't. Like.
Start yelling at him. Start insulting him.
I just don't know what to tell you. If that's what you believe, then that's okay. I mean, I don't care about the female attention. It was literally just for content. If there's a content drought, and most of my channel, the ammunition for videos is about other people, and then I have the chance to take a video of, like, you know, someone making a shrine of me, and then I can turn that into content where I'm like, guys, this is crazy, like some old Leafy stuff. Then it's like, okay, it's an audience capture moment where I can hopefully get views off something that isn't like about other people.
The worst part is, because like I skinwalked Leafy at one point, the worst part is like still being like a Leafy skinwalker at like 21. That's like insane. Wasn't Leafy like about this age when he quit? Like, how are you still gonna be doing like surf gameplay and shit at like 21, dude? That's crazy, bro.
And I mean, you're free to believe that. I'm okay with you believing that.
Sure, yeah. I don't think you're like, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're a fucking groom or any crazy shit like that. I'm just saying, like, it feels like there's probably more than one motivation going on there at a time. It doesn't make it the worst thing in the world. I just think there's probably, I think there's probably multiple things that are playing into your decision to make that content specifically.
Okay, well then, so do you think that it would have been like different if it was like a crazy guy who was screaming my name or something? Because I made videos like that before.
Look at yourself, Aiden. Dear God.
A crazy guy who was screaming your name. I think
Because that probably shows.
I think
that
that's
I'm
like
not
I think that's a
specifically
different
about the female stuff.
thing. I don't know what the situation is with any crazy.
He wants to be worshipped, but he has nothing worth worshiping. True. He wishes he was AIDS gang, bro. He wishes he had AIDS gang. Fortunately, he doesn't. Sad stuff.
Guys screaming. I look at this
Sure,
and
I can
get
tell you.
see. Okay, go for it. Sure.
So back in like 2021, when that was like my channel was just dream farming meta, there was a time period where I was like, damn, I want to get away from this. So there was this guy.
Wait a second. Hold on. If you go and type somebody's... If you go to try to @ somebody in a YouTube chat, like right now, and their name gets like autofilled, their handle, right? If I was to type, I don't know, like I need to try something. On iPhone. If you're watching on iPhone, type an @ and if the @ gets autofilled, does that mean they're watching the stream? Try it on iPhone right now, because somebody's just sent me, and I don't think Cheeto's ever like actually typed in this chat. Somebody typed his @ or something, and apparently his name got autofilled. So apparently he's like actually potentially watching right now.
Who was putting a garbage bag on his head, and he was called Garbage Bag Man. And then
$10 from Klongo. To be fair, Cheeto is better energy for a Cheeto's mascot than Aiden would ever. So true.
he was basically like commentary YouTubers would like Dominic Schmidt essentially pay him to like crash out and say some crazy shit that didn't make any sense about them, just so they could respond to it, right?
If you want to call in a Cheeto, you're welcome to.
So this was basically, in my opinion, a mirror situation to that.
I would say no.
I think you don't think it is because it's a woman.
No,
Like,
I think because
I
there's
think
a lot.
that's why-
If there's someone crashing out and doing something extreme and screaming, I can understand how it's made content. The shrine thing is
There's like, yeah, there doesn't seem to be like that doesn't really seem like entertaining. Like that seems like maybe a meme you could put at the beginning of the video, but like nobody's gonna find that funny. He doesn't really care if like because people will laugh if they could tell he's like attempting to make a joke, right? So he doesn't actually need his bits to be funny. He could genuinely think that he could put that in there as like a little bit of a joke or something. Yeah, I don't know.
less inherently content. The shrine thing seems more like it's tied to image or.
Yep. Yeah.
How is it less content? That makes no sense at all.
Because what is there to cover? Like, what is the content there?
It's not an explosive clip of someone.
He likes like he thinks it's cool to like think there are girls that are like, or to present the image of like that there are girls that are like worshiping him, right? I don't think that's a sexual thing. It's an ego thing and an image thing.
On screaming, it's just like a picture of some stuff.
Yes, it is. You're highlighting two crazy people that are like talking about you.
But you didn't think she was crazy.
Right, but I thought wait, no, hold on.
Dude, I wish I could see. We could see his live chat. Dude, his Queeman's live chat is probably like destroying this guy, bro.
When you found out she's crazy, you didn't want to.
Queeman's live chat asked the pressing questions that Queeman would never dare ask.
Do the content.
Exactly, actually mentally ill.
Was this other guy not actually mentally ill?
Dominic Schmidt is 150% actually mentally ill. Like, anyone who knows of Dominic Schmidt's existence knows that Dominic Schmidt is like one of the most mentally ill people that has ever like existed in an online space.
No, I was like paying him to do the content.
But was he not actually he wasn't actually mentally ill?
Not at all. No, he.
Anybody who knows who Dominic Schmidt is or has spent 5 minutes talking to him could not honestly tell you that Dominic Schmidt is fucking not mentally ill. You don't need to be a doctor to tell that this guy is insanely mentally ill. He was calling me up, begging me, borderline threatening me to keep making videos, like making fun of him. I was like 15. This guy's super fucking mentally ill. He plays it up so he has like a humiliation fetish or something, right? He plays it up a little bit, but he wants people covering him because he's like histrionic. He's addicted to attention. and he'll like cry if he doesn't fucking get it. He'll like flip on you. He's like, that's why I didn't cover him back then after like putting his one, because I realized, and then I remember because Cyrus was covering, I'd gone to Cyrus and I'd said, if I were you, I wouldn't keep giving this guy attention because he like feeds off of it. I don't think there's anything wrong if you decide you'll give him attention, but just know like he is totally unwell. You're giving him what he wants.
He was an actor.
He is acting. He's acting in those clips by like degrading himself, right? He's doing that because you're telling him to do it. But the reason he's doing it is completely rooted in mental illness.
So that's my point.
Yeah,
Does that make sense now?
Yeah, I still don't. I don't think it makes much sense that this would be content. I understand how someone screaming crazy stuff about you is content. I don't understand the content part of here's a girl who organized some picture of me on her dresser.
I thought what she was doing was trying to overplay how much she like was obsessed with my content in order to get clipped. But then I looked at the clip and then I'm like, wait a second, this is not a performance like the other guy. This is someone who's actually mentally ill.
Also, though, this is actually a really good point of criticism I'm thinking about in hindsight. The age thing is not relevant in the way Morale was making it relevant. It's relevant in the sense of, right? It's relevant in the sense of, if he's true that this was purely about making content, his intentions were to humiliate her, then maybe you could make an argument that, like, it's potentially, exploitative, because she could, like, not exploitative in a sexual sense, in a sense of, like, humiliating herself for his benefit, for the internet, because then she could like go on to regret that, and it's like on the internet now forever. You know what I mean? Because I've used the same argument. No, I'm not going to bring this up because it's going to sound like I'm saying he did something sexual. He didn't, but I've used this argument for like the employment of like 18-year-olds in like pornography. How like your brain's still developing and like the internet is like forever, and like doing something to like perpetually humiliate yourself online is like a very big fucking decision.
And so I'm not going to use them for content. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah.
Morale meant it in the way that you were saying it. He's just poor at communicating.
I think that's fair. I mean, and that's anyway, just to circle it back. The reason why I was
to rewatch that
so upset and when I called Aiden was because I was like, you know, this person who's saying that I'm creepy for this is totally out of line, and I think that's
not the call. Nope. He said that part on the stream. The call was about the bed jokes.
Disingenuous, and I think that that's like a very disgusting thing to say about me, because I'm not.
Yeah, which is why I refuted it. Right? That's why I refuted it.
Groomer. I am not a pedophile. I'm not, and to even imply that I'm like that is like, I'm gonna take great offense to that, because that's like
he's
an
acting
attack
like
on
he's acting like I did that.
not only like my channel but me as a person, and it's fucked up for you to say that. And I was very frustrated during that, and so I talked to Aiden, and during the after the call that he had with the guy who was saying all this, and I said, you shouldn't platform that guy, which is what I said. But
that was one thing, right? That was one thing. But then you could tell the underlying anger. He was like actually just angry about like the jokes and shit, because he then calls me back up after this from talking about the bed.
Said that you shouldn't platform him because he was spreading lies about me. And I understand that I came off as like a tyrannical boss where I'm telling him who he can and cannot platform. But if
the problem is I just did something that like was probably beneficial for you, and you take issue with it as though I've done something wrong. I'm not saying you have to be grateful to me. That's like gay as fuck. But certainly like to act like I did something wrong there is like totally fucking absurd.
Someone is,
and I don't believe that he believes it, actually, to be honest. It's like with Lyle Convoy. When Lyle Convoy went and like confronted the I'm not comparing myself to the woman, the disabled woman that Lyle Convoy confronted. But when he confronted this woman, his issue was that she was shit-talking his friend over his Star Wars takes. but he knew how ridiculous that sounded. So he like framed it under the guise of, oh, well, you were moderator in a server where somebody was a groomer, even though you didn't have the ability to ban people or whatever the fuck. And it's like, because you know the actual like reason for your anger is going to sound like totally fucking absurd. So you have to like frame it under something more reasonable to be taken like seriously.
Posting a guy who's spreading false accusations about you, I think you're in the right to tell the person hosting it that you shouldn't do that.
$5 from Klungo. Dude, Klungo's my biggest donor of the fucking night. Thank you so much, buddy. Mad Joe, always ahead.
I mean, you can have that opinion.
Do you agree with laws that provide compensation for children and family YouTube channels? Yeah, but I'd take it a step further. I think it creates a really weird dynamic where the parent's income is reliant on the activities of the child. And I think in a sense, like a lot of this dynamic can like be super unhealthy for the development of a child. I don't know, because someone's gonna hold me to account for this. I'm sure you could poke holes in this, like making this outright claim, but like I would explore the idea of just potentially like prohibiting it entirely, right? If your income is like, well, I guess giving them the money, the parents say, no, you're right, because then if we give them the money, then the parents' income wouldn't be real. Yeah, actually, I would say like the parents like wouldn't be able to. I'd have to think through this one, but I think it's like super exploitative as it stands right now, and it's like not in the best interest of the child. And I think the best interests of the child are more important.
I don't know how that lines up with other opinions, but most people, you know, just I think most people's position on this stuff is if someone's lying about someone on stream and you think it's untrue or have reason to think it's untrue, then just push back on it. You don't have to like drop them off the stream.
Which is what I did.
But you push back on it, argue with it, and Aiden and Rao had
Well,
like quite
sure,
a long,
but
long
at the
argument
same
about that, I
time,
thought.
like, well, I mean, yeah, but at the same time, like, shouldn't you just be against spreading false accusations in general?
He's
like,
saying
that's
I
like
spread. This is such a fucking bad faith argument. The fact he can't concede shows me he's totally unwilling to change. Spreading false accusations. He's acting like I myself was like. When you hear that somebody is spreading false accusations, what do you think? You think that I was going around telling people about this, as if it were fact or as if it happened. That's how we think about. That's when we say spreading false accusations. The implication is that the person telling people about this thing is telling them in a way where they'd believe it. What he really means is somebody called into my stream, perpetuated these allegations without me knowing that they were in advance, and then I refuted them. That is like a fucking. He's wording this in such a slimy fucking way that no, actually, I am starting to take actual personal issue with him. That's like an insane thing to say about me. That's like an insane fucking thing to say about me. Am I like off on like I feel like the implication of that is as if I'm like actually going and like being the one that's like spreading the like telling people about the allegation as if it happened.
like saying like I can say something untrue about a big content creator, and if he has nothing to hide, then he'll just talk to me. Like I feel like you should just not
that
spread
wasn't
the
what happened though, was it?
misinformation.
It was just Aiden defended you to Rao, right? He didn't say
To be
you had
clear,
to talk on
Aiden
it.
never platformed me.
That's
I
true.
randomly
He
called
did, and
him
I
on
gave him credit
stream
for
and
that. I'm actually
started
very
yelling
glad
at
that he
him that
pushed back
Akito was
against it.
evil and gross.
I was just
Yes, that's what we have the VOD. We have the VOD, and he's conflating two streams. I wasn't even covering. I was covering John Swan, and then Morale called in. He's just fucking. Holy shit, dude. Holy fuck, bro. This is like so fucking dishonest. Oh my, what is wrong with this guy, dude?
just saying
It
that
was
I thought it was
unprompted.
kind of sloppy to just have this guy.
How is it sloppy? Wait, you don't know what someone's gonna say when you have them on stream. You're asking me to predict the. You're insinuating I did something wrong. I have to predict the fucking future.
I mean, I guess I'll give him credit for it. Like he
I
did
don't
push
need credit from you. I don't need credit for you because I didn't fucking do anything wrong.
back against it. I just would have asked. I asked him not to platform him, and
Yeah, I
that
think
was
most
just my
people,
reply.
especially like streamers, are gonna see that as like an unreasonable expectation that you don't platform someone. Because Morale, obviously, I don't think Morale was saying this because he thought it was false and wanted to slander you. I think Morale genuinely believed the things he was saying and was arguing with Aiden about it for like 3 hours or whatever.
Mhm.
So I don't think it's not like someone has come on and basically just started presenting doctored screenshots of you saying like, look, this guy's raping kids, this guy's raping. That's not what's really happened. It's
Well, he was spreading
has
misinformation.
well, yeah, but he has a reading.
He literally said things that were wrong.
I'm sure he said things that were wrong while arguing about it. I'm sure he did. But he had a reading of evidence that was there, and Aiden had a different reading of it, and they argued about it.
Yeah.
And Aiden defended your point. So I don't really see that there's an issue with platforming there when that it's not like some huge piece of false information was
right. Well, I guess
from
if you know that if you know that someone is lying about another person and that lie has a lot of weight that will result in negative consequences.
But I don't. That's a lie. But I actually don't know that. I actually don't know that at all because I didn't know what he was calling in about. You could see that on the fucking stream. It's like he's criticizing me for shit he does. You had Nux on not knowing what he was going to talk about, and he actually made pretty serious allegations against somebody else. And then she was like, well, it's different because you don't know him personally. Dude, this is like fucking ridiculous, bro.
This is for the person who's being lied about, then it's probably something that you should avoid doing. Like, you should avoid giving him airtime, right? That was what I was asking. And he thought I was saying that in a way that...
Dude, can you imagine if I reacted like a cheetah? You want to know what Queeman did? When somebody wrote this, like, false allegation document on me because they were mad about, like, not having my old VODs. Queeman decided Queeman pulled up the allegation, read through it, and the whole fucking time was like, he did it. He did it. This guy raped. He did it. Can you imagine if he did that to a Cheeto? Can you imagine how, like, fucking mad this guy would be? I thought it was funny as fuck.
That was disrespectful. He thought that I was trying to boss him around.
To be fair, I didn't think the allegation was funny as fuck. Like, I did actually think, like, dude, people are gonna think this is fucking real because they wrote it in a way where, like, a shitter could genuinely believe it's real. But, like, I wasn't mad at, like, anyone that talked about it.
And I was more or less just requesting that he don't have the guy on who said these falsehoods about me.
He also didn't bring him on to talk about that. Like,
Exactly.
Mal called him.
Exactly.
That's true. That's true.
Talking about it.
No, that's pretty
That's true, and because that's true, everything you've just said doesn't work.
true. That's, yeah.
So concede.
And I didn't mean like he made a mistake. I'm saying, like, in the future.
You've actually said, he's literally said, like, verbatim, this is the same guy that platformed false allegations against me and doubled down on it. As if I had done something wrong. You actually were outright insinuating that I had done something wrong or made some sort of mistake.
In the future, don't do that. And he's free to do it, but I was asking that he didn't.
You know what? We're going to do a stream where I get Morale back on to make the exact same allegations, except the whole time I'm going to be covering it in, like, the same way that Nux Taku covers Donald Trump. Okay? I'm just going to be, like, nodding my head, so based, just, like, nodding my head up and down, not giving, like, any pushback. Okay, maybe then he'll be, like, finally satisfied.
And so, yeah. Anyway. And just because he's in chat, Morale, the guy who had said all this stuff to begin with, I'm actually curious, because you're here. What's up?
If Morale was making the criticism that I just brought up before, then I actually, like, don't even necessarily disagree with him. To me, it sounded like he was, like, insinuating he was a predator. But if Morale was, like, actually making the same criticism that I just said you could use before, then you're right. He is just horrible at wording things.
With that, like, I never actually talked to this person. I don't know if he ever wanted to talk to me, and I don't want to get too derailed, but I'm actually curious where he thought he was going with that, because he actually interviewed the girl, interestingly enough, and found nothing. So, do I ever get the apology for you accusing me of being like a groomer, a creep, as you said in the stream?
Did he call you a groomer? Did he say you're a groomer?
I don't know if he said that.
I don't think I interviewed the girl. Yes.
He's just going to avoid Quimmen's question. He did not interview the girl. What happened was, this Joanna person, Morale, was going to interview her, and then he, like, found out she was 16 or something, right? If I remember correctly, I could be wrong about that one. Random Trump impression? Yeah, that's, like, Nux's, like, whole bit. It's his, like, he'll just do, like, random impressions that aren't, like, fitting. Like, he started doing an impression of Hassan, and he gave him, like, a gay accent.
You did. You were in a call with them. Brother. This is totally fair that I'm owed a fucking apology that you did all this shit, bro. You know, if I called you a rapist,
In hindsight, I think I need to apologize to Morale. In hindsight,
which is one tier above what you were essentially implying I am, and it wasn't true, I'd say sorry.
That was a joke, by the way, Cheetah, who's watching that. You're really gonna apologize to the guy who called me a fucking rapist? How am I supposed to tell? I'm just like supposed to tell when you're joking? Yes, you actually are supposed to be able to tell when I'm joking? Yeah.
Wait, did he call you a groomer straight up, or did he just say you were like creepy, or?
He said, okay, no, he did not say word for, or I don't remember if he said word for word that I'm a groomer, but he said, and I guess that word matters a lot, but the words that he said was, he's taking advantage of a mentally ill 17-year-old, right? And then he said,
So that implies something sexual, but when you think about it from the perspective of he wants content, so he's gonna get her to do this for him so that he can make fun of her, right? The term taking advantage is a little loaded. It gives off certain implications. But if that was an unintended byproduct, then he might not have necessarily been wrong. Because, yes, he did want to have this person do it by his own admission so he could make fun of them. Like, you could look at this from the perspective of it's just kind of like a really, like, dick thing to do.
it's creepy, it's weird. I think he was maybe smart enough optically to not say the word groomer, or maybe he wasn't. I don't remember if he said the word groomer. But the entire purpose of the call was to yield the same result to people who are called groomers, right?
No, I wouldn't say it's to yield the same result. I would say it's along the same lines. He's saying there's some kind of indiscretion happening there for sure.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's nowhere close. He wasn't trying to exact groomer consequences on you.
It's nowhere close. So if I say that you took advantage of a mentally ill 17-year-old, then it's creepy and weird, and then people
But what that could mean in this context might not necessarily be wrong.
end up agreeing with that, do you not think they're going to treat you the same way they would treat
The way he
someone
worded it was like he wasn't really like being mindful of like how people might like take away, like what people might take away from that.
been accused of grooming?
I think it really depends on the case.
No, they absolutely would. You know that. I know
I
you've
don't
been on the
think
internet. They absolutely.
Why is Queeman getting bitch slapped, bro? Where's this Queeman that gives pushback that I've heard about? Like, he's just like getting totally like fucking bitch slapped.
He
right
would.
now.
Necessarily true. I think it depends on the case and context all the time.
You're saying
Queeman is like so audience captured. He probably like heard like Chud's chat, like say he was like Spurgy or something, and now he's trying to tone it down. Hate to see it, folks.
There's a lot of times when people will just believe that, but it
lifting.
depends who they're talking about, and I don't think necessarily just because
I'm saying, if the sentiment among the public is that somebody's being weird toward minors, whether or not the word groomer has been the word that's been used everywhere doesn't really matter. If people think you're being weird around kids, that's all that matters. And that's what he's trying to say about me, right? That's the point. I'm saying this divider that you're saying exists between that and the word groomer is totally arbitrary. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but at this point, it's like, well, okay, so if you say someone's being even slightly weird around kids, you're calling them a groomer. It's like we can do this.
Yeah, so I in hindsight, if Morale was saying the criticism that I brought up, it might have been intentional. He just needs to be mindful of like how people might take it, so he should be like clarifying and being more clear like about what he means.
Honestly, we can
He
just
was
go
being like super vague. I think that was the problem, which like allowed people to like have potentially misleading takeaways from it.
Okay, if you're calling him a groomer, you're calling him a pedophile.
No.
And if you call him a pedophile, you call him a child rapist. And if you call him a child rapist murderer, it's all the same thing.
If he uses the word groomer, though, I don't know if he did. If he used the word groomer, yeah, that's like I think a bit uncalled for.
So I think
that is very uncalled
no, I'm
for.
not doing a slippery slope fallacy. I'm saying that if people are told that this person is being weird around minors and that he's being creepy and that he's taking advantage of a mentally ill 16 or 17-year-old, right? People view that the same way as they do if you say that guy groomed a 17-year-old. The internet does. That's exactly what that's how that works, right? I'm not saying that if you say that someone's a groomer, that people who are saying that the groomer is now a rapist are right. I think that is silly, and I think that's a slippery slope. I think that by saying that somebody is taking advantage of a mentally ill 17-year-old and is behaving in a way that's inappropriate, etc.
Sure. Okay.
And people...
So I don't agree with the same groomer, but I get what you're saying. Basically, Morale's presentation. He overplayed it. He was deliberately phrasing it in a way that was both simultaneously vague and also attempted to
Yeah.
signal to the absolute worst possible version of these events, right?
Yeah.
So he's
Exactly.
saying,
Thank
yeah,
you. And look
okay.
what he's typing in chat right now. This guy's so dishonest. He's like, they were 16, by the way. The do you see exactly what he's doing in the moment? Do you understand why he's choosing to highlight that, even though it's completely unrelated,
Audience
even though there was
captured.
zero sexual interaction here? He's
Aiden, you better watch it, or the next. I better watch what? What do I better watch? What do you want me to watch? Okay, Dust Money, you gotta like. That's like insane. Okay, that's like an insane fucking thing to write. What the fuck, bro? Like, like that is like that's crazy. Okay, it takes a lot for me to say like, that's like next fucking level, bro. Holy shit.
highlighting this in order to paint this narrative. This is why I was so frustrated to begin with.
Well, I mean,
say with it's an awkward grit. How do you respond to that? There's a guy like that's like he's just like sexually harassing someone in my chat. What am I supposed to fucking say?
what did he just say? I wasn't reading chat. Did he just say she was 16? By the way, I thought if
Yeah,
that's
he just said that, and so this is the point that I'm trying to make. This guy's a completely dishonest actor.
well, is that dishonest? Were they 16? I don't. Was that dishonest? If we
No,
keep
I'm
saying
it's
17, they're like
dishonest
16.
in terms
I
of
thought
the
that's-
narrative. It's in terms of the narrative. Highlighting the age of this person is like basically irrelevant when there was no sexual.
The age would be relevant in the sense of like they probably don't understand like the full implications of like humiliating themselves for the internet. They don't understand like internet probably like the permanence of the internet, and may like come to regret this choice of like agreeing to be used for content in this manner. And Morale just didn't specify that at all. So he did leave it so that like someone could have like a predatory takeaway. Yeah.
Actual interaction that took place because you're trying to highlight the age. It's like saying I talked to a 5-year-old. Like if you're like the only reason you're bringing that up is to make it sound.
I don't even think that's what he was trying to do. I just think he was so bad at conveying it that would be like the logical assumption.
Weird, but it could be like I talked to a 5-year-old, you know, because fucking is like whatever, you know, like if a 5-year-old fucking got lost or something, and I'm like, where's your parents or whatever, right? Like it's just like you can make it sound inappropriate by just saying, whoa, you talked to a fucking 16-year-old. It's like you can strip that of all context and just say this in the vaguest way possible.
Why does Cheeto want to litigate this anyways? Didn't he win? No, he's so egotistical. He like just can't take anything like less than exactly what he fucking wants. And I'm at fault for refuting allegations against them.
Make it sound like I'm doing something weird, but the reality is I'm not. Or sexual, I'm not. But anyway, I don't want to like. I mean, I don't want to get like too focused in on this because this I only brought up to highlight the thing with Aiden. I mean, if you want to still talk about this, we can.
No, I'm fine to move on if you want to move on.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I was obviously very frustrated with the coverage against me on the situation with the provable lies, and Aiden pushed back because these were provable lies. And so my frustration was essentially that this had been said on his stream that had a lot of viewers, and that was it. I told him I would like if you not platform this person, don't platform him in the future. You know, that was my.
I think we had like 100 live viewers. This is like a 500k. This is like a 500k sub like fucking Andy, bro. Like we had like 100 live viewers. Dude, actually, like I think we did better that night. Maybe, did we? We might have. What was I supposed to do?
Request to him, and he had got offended, I think, after, or he had been upset that I, in his words, disrespect.
He didn't get offended. People like came to me and essentially said like the way he was talking to you was like super fucking like disrespectful. And then when I rewatched in like hindsight, I realized, yeah, like why was I like letting myself get like bitch slapped like that? Like I should have given him like more. I shouldn't have let him like speak to me like that as though he had any like. I'm not saying he had to be grateful to me, but he certainly shouldn't have been upset with how that was handled.
Respected him, or I talked down to him, or I was condescending.
Even any request like that, okay, any request like that got received real poorly by streamers saying, don't
Keto incapable of thinking of even one non-sexual discussion with a child.
Don't bring this guy on if he's going to lie about me. I understand like asking that to like someone you've got an acquaintance with. If this guy's going to come on and lie about me, you can just not bring him on, or something like that.
Yeah.
If you've got like, a good relationship with him. But anytime you're saying something like, don't platform this guy again in the future, or something like that, try to put a specific block on someone, that's going to be received incredibly poorly, and people are going to think you're being crazy.
I mean, I just disagree that people would think that it's crazy to make that request. I think it's a reasonable
it's
request.
like it feels like there's a lot of, especially I know someone like Aiden is gonna have this mindset of like there are a lot of big streamers and big content creators who will have attitudes of like, oh, this person's small enough and making criticism of me to where I can just ignore them. I'm gonna ask my friends to just ignore them and blacklist them, and then I can just completely shut out that voice. And
I could have ignored this.
Sort
I
of
could have ignored this fully.
opposition to that sort of request of like don't platform this person because it's like we want to keep everyone involved.
Right. Well, the reason that I hadn't, the reason that I only responded and started responding at this point, like I didn't respond when he wanted to talk about the Sniper Wolf stuff, and the only reason I responded at this point was because I had screenshots that proved what he was saying to be false, and when it had something to do with something as serious as like allegations, obviously at that point I'm gonna jump in. I'm not gonna let something like this go uncontested when I have.
But you didn't have to. I was the one contesting it. You didn't have to let it go uncontested because I was contesting it. If anything, I actually think the way he's talking about me right now is more misleading than the way Morale talked about him. If anything, I think he owes me an apology right now because he's wording it as if I was like just like spreading like false allegations with no pushback or like just reiterating them verbatim. I think I'm actually the victim here, to be honest with you. I think I'm owed an apology here. I'm being lied about. These are false allegations against me. Wait, why did Queeman let this guy on to spread false... Why did Queeman let this guy on to spread false allegations against me that I let someone on to spread false allegations against him? Huh? I think the real perpetrator of all of this, make no mistake, is Queeman. I think Queeman is the biggest villain on all of this. I'm actually more mad at Queeman than I am at Achita.
Something to prove it to be wrong.
Sure.
Especially when it's that serious, you know?
Sure, yeah, I think
I understand the mentality of
messages that show you didn't use the video.
Yeah, I mean, and like, I get it, ignore this person. He's not big enough to even entertain, but it's serious enough to entertain.
No, I'm not saying. Sorry, I'm not saying just ignore morale or don't release your evidence. What I was saying was that Aiden's going to have a problem with you asking for someone not to be platformed because there is this attitude among established content.
It wasn't just that; it was the way he went about it, and the fact that like he then calls me after to like complain about like stupid shit, like jokes I'd made about him 2 streams ago. It was just, as I said before, I don't need this guy to be grateful. He isn't right because I did what I would do regardless if I liked him or not, right? But I certainly don't need him to like be acting as though I had wronged him, right? That's the part I felt was like fucked.
And creators of like, if there's a small person, I will just ignore them, and then I'll ask all my friends to never talk about them or talk to them, and then that way I can completely shut them out and never have their criticism be heard. Because there's that attitude among established creators, someone like Aiden is going to have more of a mindset of, well, fuck that attitude. I want to be able to bring on everyone. I won't be able to have any criticism. Fuck what people are telling me I can and can't talk about. I don't want to abide by that. So if you say don't platform this person, he's almost going to want to platform him more, probably, to be honest.
That does make sense. That does make sense. I do think you can also see where I'm coming from, though.
No,
I understand. I feel like if you and Aiden had like a closer
Nope, you should say no. Say no. Say you do not see where he's coming from.
relationship or something, it would make maybe more sense.
We didn't have nobody else that I know that I would actually consider like myself close with at one point would ever use this cope. Ever. I was not that fucking I would love to get this guy on here and ask him, can you say like anything you know about me, like on a personal level, like literally anything? No. No, you couldn't. You actually couldn't. Because this guy's acting like a fucking ex of mine. Like we did not know each other like that. We did not know each other. Like we've known each other for a long time. But not a lot. That's the nature of being online. Like you know a lot of people for a long time. That doesn't really inherently affect your level of closeness with them.
It doesn't seem like you and Aiden were super tight. Like, you've known each other a while, but it's not like you guys are, talking.
That's true. I mean, necessarily, that's true. That is true. But this was the first time I had a proper interaction with him since VidCon last year.
Yeah,
sure. Because we weren't that close. Exactly. If you're friends with somebody, why are you talking to them? Like if I consider someone a friend, we're talking way more frequently than that. The only time we spoke before that was when he was in the room because I was there to see someone else.
Had been like, where I thought that we were pretty cool, like we were chopping it up during VidCon, so that's
because believe it or not, in real life, if I've had previous issue with you, or even if I don't know you that well, I'm still gonna like I still like treat everybody like friendly, right? Because that like I know how to like I don't know be like social, I guess. I don't like I am nice to everybody. If I like in person, like if you sat down and were like telling me about like the most boring fucking shit on earth, I'm not like some like Redditor that's gonna sit there and be like, this is really fucking boring. I'm gonna pretend like I'm interested. I'm gonna tell you it's really fucking cool if I barely know you. I'll be honest if you're like my friend. But like I'll be very nice to you, cause like I'm being social, right? But like you were literally a true, so true.
Kind of, you know, this shift had been
But I guess he took that in like a way of like it was exceptional with it.
That's what
I
I'm
don't
getting
know.
at, you know? Anyway, so I mean, this guy wants to call in now. If you want him to call in, I guess like
I can
answer Klungo's question. What is Klungo's question? I am close to you. True, you've given me like 100 fucking bucks. You are very close to me.
Up to you. I don't mind.
Content.
I'll bring Rao in.
Speaking of that, if you want to support the streams, as always, you could super chat, join the Discord, join the Reddit, sub to the channel. Make sure to like the stream. We've had consistently almost 100, a little under 120 or over 120 most of the fucking stream. So we should have a good amount of likes. We only have 50 likes. So get that fucking like button up. Get that like button up. Hit that like button.
I mean, anything he wants to say, I can disprove. So I say fuck it. Like, I mean, if you'll be good to moderate, then
yeah, sure.
we'll just get this done with.
All right.
You know,
bring him in.
Do I sound alright?
Yep.
Alright.
Hello.
Hey.
Achito, you understand that the age of the person is the most
fucking
important
god!
factor,
Your
right?
mic is loud. Turn your shit down.
Yeah, that's gonna have to be on your end. I don't think
No, that's not that.
No,
my mic.
It's your mic. Turn it down. Holy shit, you're raping.
You could literally, he could turn down his volume, right? He's already like making orders. He's just entered the call. I don't know if Queeman has a limiter on his stream, but Morale's at like a perfectly like normal, like I said, like a perfectly normal volume.
Raping my ears, please.
You have headphones. I'm assuming you can. If you right click on my profile picture, there's a volume
Okay.
slider, and you can turn that down.
Okay.
I don't know how to do that on my end. I'm sorry. I'm not a tech guy.
You're good. You're good. So what were you saying?
It feels like to me, right? If I'm being bad faith, if someone was being bad faith to you here, and I'm playing the role of that person, it seems like to me you
Why
deliberately
aren't you here and not Morale? I was here.
raised the
called him
age
later.
from 16 to 17 to try to make yourself seem slightly better when you probably did know the girl's age.
I think I actually said 17 first. To be fair, I think I said 17.
Oh, Morale.
I mean, Ichido
fumbling.
didn't correct you.
I don't
He started
know.
going with 17.
We'll go with 16 if you want. I don't really know how old she was. Let's
You
okay,
don't know how
16.
old she
Sure, she could have been 14. Let's make her 14. How about
I wouldn't be in
Yeah,
damage.
base.
Just
So
You want her to be
engage with it,
14?
it's 14, Morale. Engage with
that? Sure,
it.
she can be 14. It doesn't matter because there was zero sexual interaction that took place. No matter how much you want it to make it.
Sure, but I think age can be relevant outside of a sexual context. The problem is like on the internet, everybody is so like pedo hunting brained that like if you're calling out any behavior that maybe shouldn't occur around minors, people are going to assume you're like making some sort of like, and I said that too, right? When Morale was coming on about like you have to like if you're calling out some sort of inappropriate interaction or exchange with a minor, you should be explicitly clarifying you're not speaking about pedophilia or like any sort of predatory behavior. It's just like probably not a way you should engage yourself in this context.
It seemed like I did something weird here. Like
I
there's
don't think I
nothing.
brought in anything sexual. I think that's all you. This one's all you.
No. You said I was behaving weird and creepy to mentally ill minors.
A mentally ill minor, singular.
Exactly. So let's try to like,
see how
decode what
when
mean
you talk
there.
about Ichido, when you talk about this, you deliberately, it seems like to me at least, and correct me obviously if I'm wrong, it seems like to me at least, you're deliberately making things worse for everyone else. Like everybody else had done something worse. Like what Aiden's doing. He's like sending fans to your live streams. He's
yes.
platforming people that are evil, right?
Are we
He's
talking
doing
about
all
what
of
you
these
said,
bad
or
things.
we're talking about this other stuff? Can
I'm
we stay
talking
on
about
the
what you're
topic,
saying. It
please?
seems like you're deliberately. It seems
No,
like
the reason
to
you're in
me,
the call
it
is to
seems
talk
like-
about the allegations.
The reason he's in the call because Queeman let him be in there because it's Queeman's stream. The reason I have you here, dude, it's Queeman's fucking stream.
Made.
That's the only. Okay. What about them?
Yes, that's all you serve. That's the only purpose you serve in my life as the person who's made allegations against me. I don't give a single fuck about what
Allegations
you have to say.
that you were weird and creepy.
Yes, exactly.
And you feel like you're owed an apology because I called you weird and creepy.
Because you said that I'm weird and behaving creepy toward mentally ill minors, and then you keep.
Are you going to apologize to Sniper
You
Wolf?
repeatedly say that. I'm going to apologize to Sniper Wolf. Okay.
I'll make you a deal. I'll make you a deal. Let's do this. I'll make you a deal. If you give a genuine heart.
I think that's a good response. I think that's a good response. Rare morale, not rare, I would respond like that. People are saying this is morale L. So far, it's a fucking W. I am a little biased.
Heartfelt apology.
No, I'm not making.
If you hold on.
You can't
if you give a genuine heartfelt apology to Sniper Wolf,
herrings
I will give a genuine heartfelt apology to you.
It's true. Is he not just like? Are we going to talk about what you've said?
Queenman's gonna sweep for a Cheeto. Just watch, dude. This Queenman guy's This Queenman guy's losing his touch, man. Sweeping for Dan Saltman, sweeping for Lex, and now he's sweeping for a Cheeto. This guy is willing to sweep for all the worst people on Earth.
Like, I mean, this guy's a joker. Can we say on the allegations that you made against me?
This punk's a joker.
I'm.
Queenman's being a shitter.
Is that not the topic we're on?
Yeah, we're talking about the allegations.
No. Yeah, can you say on the topic? Like, you're talking about Aiden.
I feel like I'm on the topic. You said during the discussion about the allegations that you were owed an apology. Is this not tangentially related? I feel like this is not too far off the nose here.
Okay, it is. When you say that I'm weird and creepy for what had happened, I want you to provide evidence for that.
At the time, I saw your interaction, and in my head, I had emotional response to that, of which I was like, oh, this is a little weird and creepy. This is probably something you shouldn't be, doing.
I wouldn't say that. If I were in Morale's shoes, I would. Well, actually, Morale's probably just being honest about his intent. But I would say, at the time, I still do think, oh, you're being weird and creepy around a minor. But I understand that can have pedophilic connotations, and I should have been more responsible in clarifying that is not what I was saying. I was saying that in a non-sexual context. However, this is the internet, and that could have easily been taken in a sexual context, and it is my bad for not clarifying otherwise. I would have just said that.
As a content creator, I think this is a little bit of reckless behavior, right?
Okay, so let's stop downplaying what we said. It wasn't that you said it was a little bit of reckless behavior. You had gone on for about 30 minutes trying to convince Aiden that what I had done was weird.
It was hours upon days. Hours upon days. It wasn't 30 minutes.
Days.
Okay, and you're saying that that's how you felt at the time. Do you still feel that way?
Say yes.
I mean, logically.
Say yes, but clarify it's not pedophilic.
I know I was wrong, but emotionally.
He lost. Morale lost. Morale lost. Morale totally 150% lost. Hate to see it. Hate to see it, folks.
Yeah, I still probably feel that way to some extent.
Okay, so logically you know you were wrong, and yet you're still defending it. Why?
When have I defended it?
The reason you're in the call is to defend it. The reason you are even in this group...
Morale doesn't even know why he's in the call. Actually, he won. Just because of that, he won.
Chat is because you are standing 10 toes down to defend it. Yet you just said you know logically you're wrong.
I don't think that's
so
true.
What
I just thought
deal?
no. What?
I don't think.
Why are you here then? Why are you here? If you know you're wrong, then why are you here? I don't understand.
Morale won. Total morale victory. Total morale W.
If you know that you're
I wanted to chat with you. You said you were owed an apology. I mean, I just wanted to chat with you.
If you know that you sound fucking retarded, then why are you in the call? You literally admitted that you're making no logical sense and you've lied.
Morale won. Morale won so fucking hard, dude. So hard. Total morale victory.
So why are you in the fucking call?
Do you want me to leave?
If you can't defend it, then why are we here?
I didn't come in here to defend it.
Then what?
I can explain my actions at the time, but I'm not going to defend the allegations from months ago. Why would I do that? That's really silly. What are you doing?
So you come in here to defend the allegations? No, I actually am not here. I think I'm totally wrong. So why are you? Morale won so fucking hard. Oh my god, dude.
Allegations. So you admit right?
He came in, he didn't even try to argue. And he got this guy so fucking pressed.
Right now that they were false allegations, yes or no?
I don't think they were false allegations.
So even though that they were not logical and they were...
Morale should stop at this point, like, seriously trying to argue. He should just be, like, biting the bullet, but, like, he should, like, try to argue, and then a cheater should push him back. He's like, so did you lie about me? Morale should be like, yes, I did lie about you. And then, like, keep trying to argue. It'd be so funny.
What was the allegation? What was the allegation?
Dude, oh my fucking god, you're actually scrambled. So if you're going to come in here and know and admit that you made illogical, false allegations... Then you lost.
Okay, let me try and just.
You tell me. You tell me what you allege, bro.
How is it a false allegation if you don't even know what I was fucking alleging?
So I think the issue here. So the issue here is Morale made the reading of the situation that was a Cheeto is exploiting 16-year-old girls for content, or.
But he wasn't responsible in the way he spoke about it, which could lead to an implication that he meant like he was speaking like in terms of like sexual exploitation potentially, because that's typically like when people think about minors and inappropriateness, that's where their mind goes to. And Morale should have been more responsible and done a better job in clarifying otherwise.
Or attention or whatever. Morale's exploiting vulnerable teenagers, basically.
In hindsight, I think my read was like totally wrong.
Cheers.
I think I won that debate, but I think I like won purely by like rhetoric. I'm not just saying this because I've been beefing with a cheetah, right? I actually think like in hindsight, I could have been more good faith in how I interpreted what Morale was saying.
So you made that allegation.
Morale is just like a horrible person at verbalizing what he means.
Then the Cheeto released this additional DM or set of DMs that showed that upon receiving the
He
video,
can't even tell me what I was looking. To be fair, Morale, I think I finally, after 6 months, like managed to figure out what you were alleging. So I actually can't even like give him grief over that. I've literally, after 6 months, just finally like realized what you were trying to say. So,
Ajito said, "Wait, you're not actually mentally ill, right? Because I can't do this if you're actually mentally ill." And then didn't use the video. Morale is saying that was an illogical reading based on the updated information. He wouldn't defend that position now, but he thinks that was a fine reading at the time, I think, and he just probably shouldn't have been so conclusive with it. But he doesn't feel like he owes you an apology for a subjective reading of your actions. I think
it's false.
My only issue is that false implies that false implies that the whole thing is just like not true. That's not quite what happened. It's mischaracterized.
He used fallacious evidence to paint a narrative.
Fallacious.
Sure.
He used fallacious. He sucked my phallus to paint a narrative. Come on, bro. God, I hate these debate bros, dude. These debate bros just really piss me off, man.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Fallacious evidence.
Exactly. It
was lacking evidence.
He whacked me with his phallus to make an argument.
Well, lacking evidence. Your narrative was lacking evidence at the time. There was evidence that would have changed the narrative should it have been presented.
Exactly. So it's misinformation. He's presenting. He's not including information that would change.
But he didn't have that information.
He performed fellatio on me to make his argument.
At the time that did it. You released
exactly. So he's talking out of his ass. So he's spreading falsehoods. You're getting there. I mean, dude. I mean, this is.
I don't know. Well, I think the thing is that he's just going to see it as like. You did. It seemed like you attempted to do this thing. He read it as that. You then showed that you backed off. I don't think that he necessarily, he didn't knowingly spread false allegations. He commented and had a subjective reading of things that did happen in public, but the character of them is changed by private information.
Okay, but
is that even a word? I think it is a word. I just don't think he was using it correctly.
You don't have the full story, then don't talk about the story. That's the mistake that I made with the Sniper Wolf stuff. Exactly.
But the thing is.
Okay, but if you're not willing to apologize to Sniper Wolf, wouldn't you be then setting the standard? Like, you think that that's like not something that's like worthy of an apology? So then wouldn't that kind of like refute the idea that Morale owes you one or whatever? So it wouldn't be necessarily a red herring.
With the Sniper stuff, you said things that were factually untrue. But you said things that were factually untrue in the Sniper Wolf case.
He did.
This can still be read.
Yeah, so did he. So did he. But no. He made claims that were completely wrong.
Okay, what claim is completely wrong?
That he said that I was doing this and that I knew that she was mentally ill.
Well, I mean, you did because you saw.
I didn't. I literally didn't. That's why I didn't release the video because.
But you can very easily. Okay, but you realize it's incredibly easy.
That is like, but that's like. So if you're looking at this from an outsider perspective, there was evidence there, but I even read that as like not like definitive proof she was mentally ill. So I actually don't think that inherently means Cheeto knew she was mentally ill at that point in time, but I could totally see from like an outsider perspective why someone could subjectively interpret that as him having knowledge of her mental illness, not necessarily making it like a falsehood, but just once again a subjective opinion.
Easy to argue that you did, right? Because you did reply to a tweet about her taking her meds.
Yeah, I can, because I didn't even like see that as like good enough proof that she was like actually mentally ill. It seemed like an edgy like e-girl kind of thing, right?
But that can be okay. But you have to understand that when you see that, I don't actually know if that's real or a meme. But when I actually see
that's how I interpret it.
Okay, and you can argue that, but now you're saying that these are like whole cloth false because you've got
exactly. It's subjective.
How do I say your name?
Queeman, yeah.
Queeman. Okay, Queeman. You have to understand, earlier you said that it makes a lot of sense that after I got the video of her doing the shrine tour, that when I then watched that, and I'm like, wait a second.
I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I'm saying that the explanation you're giving makes sense. I'm not saying that I think that I'm totally sold on it. I don't know exactly what happened here or what your mind state was.
I mean, okay. But then if he's going to say that I knew that she was mentally ill, that's just not true.
But it's very easy to argue that you probably did know because you've replied to her. Like, both make sense. You can argue that you didn't know how mentally ill or that she was actually mentally ill until after you'd seen the shrine.
Yeah, the difference is Morale there would be evidence that you knew she was mentally ill. Now, that's not a slam dunk, right? It is totally feasible you didn't know and interpreted the evidence differently, but there's at least evidence of that. With the sniper wolf shit, there was evidence that went to like the contrary of what you were saying. That was an outright falsehood.
How can very easily argue
that's
that
what I'm saying, and that's the truth. I'm telling you that's the truth.
Okay, you can say that's the truth, but I've got no way of determining if that's true.
Sure, but let me ask you, like, as person to person, right? Not him. Let me ask you, do you think, and honestly...
He's not a person. Morale's actually not a human being.
If you do, then you do. I can try to convince you out of it, because I believe in, you know, who I am as a person, that I knew that this girl was actually seriously mentally ill, because only after I saw the video, which displayed her character, and I was like, wait, this is actually serious mental illness, I then decided to not release a video.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that would
I wouldn't make a firm statement on how you were thinking at the time. I just wanted to look at the behavior.
He wants
Why?
Queeman
Why wouldn't you do that?
He wants Queeman to like he this whole time he like thought Queeman did a good job at like presenting himself like an ally. So like this whole time he'll keep like trying to like refer to Queeman to get like help or concession.
Because I don't know you.
To like help him like argue his point.
Even if I did know you, I wouldn't be able to see inside your fucking head. So you could just be spending me like a a story.
No. Him and Queeman were close. Queeman, it's different when you've like spoken to somebody like on Discord in like a call. It's like different. You guys are on like a different level. You know what I mean?
Makes sense on the surface, but if I actually could see inside your head, really what happened was maybe at the last moment you're like, oh, I just saw this person 16. I don't know if I should really do this, and then you backed out or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what exactly could have happened here. There's lots of different things that could have happened. Towards you back out.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess if you don't, okay, I guess all I can do is tell you that that's, I literally had no idea of knowing that.
Sure, but like but the thing, all I'm saying to you is I can't determine as a third party what your state of mind was. So Morale has a pretty easy argument that you didn't know. Also, you have a pretty good argument that you didn't know. I can't determine which one's which. So for you to just say whole cloth, what Morale's saying is false. It's like that's not quite true.
Well, the other thing is like, okay, if you can say that I'm giving an argument and that it's really, no one can truly know, that's fine.
Queeman's right, but Queeman is giving it to him in terms he's just going to be fundamentally unable to understand, and that's probably because Queeman doesn't really know him. But I doubt Achita like is able to like get what Queeman means here.
I guess what I would say then is like you should remain in the neutral because if what I'm saying makes perfect sense, and you can say. If what you're saying is that what he's saying makes perfect sense, which I don't think it does, that should still put you in the center of not doing anything, of not making a definitive claim. Anyway, I'll just make that point. The second point that he said, which was another lie, was that I was taking advantage of this person, okay? In order for me to have truly taken advantage of them, then that would have having the advantage part of that is getting something out of it, which is the content, which I didn't do.
Yeah, I think that's what Morale would say is illogical or didn't make sense in his reading.
It doesn't make any sense.
But it's very easily like he could just
because if he's going to say that it wasn't the content, then he's going to say that I was like getting some sort of sexual gratification out of it.
You could just
which
say
is
like
the real fucking problem.
You tried to, or you entertained the idea of taking on this girl. It's like very easy to modify the statement.
So to be honest, I didn't realize how long this went on for. I'm gonna keep going for a little bit. It's about 2 a.m. I didn't realize how long this was gonna be. So what I'm probably gonna do, I'm gonna save the Nux tent, for tomorrow. We're gonna finish this. I'll give my final thoughts on it. And then we'll do the Nux content tomorrow because we've been going we'll probably end at almost 4 hours.
Bringing in sexual stuff. I don't think there was any sexual misconduct, and I don't think at the time I ever alleged that there was.
Okay, so then what's the part that's creepy, weird, and manipulative toward a minor?
Manipulative. See, you keep doing that. You try to make the arguments worse. Do you not realize that?
Or taking advantage. You know what taking advantage is?
Literally can't go past 4 hours. Not anymore, buddy. Not anymore. If I want to do that, I have to go live earlier. And I always say I am, and I never do, so I'm not making any promises right now. Listen, it's been a fucking hell of a week, guys. I promise. I solemnly swear, once my finals are done, I don't have finals this week, but once my finals are done, we're going at the streaming game hard, bro. Hard. Okay? We're doing like December ass shit.
Oh, just stick to the phrase taking advantage of a teen mentally of teenager. But yeah, I see what you're saying, Ralph. You have injected words a couple of times that Ralph didn't quite use. Groomer isn't. You used groomer a moment ago. But yeah, anyway, so just use this phrase.
Okay. Always... You're in Australia, bro. It's very easy for you to tell me to keep going when it's like you're just like kicking your feet, starting your day.
Say taking advantage of teenagers.
In what way was I taking advantage of this person?
Taking advantage because you were okay. So actually, I don't know if taking advantage would be the best context. If we're going to be good faith and assume he didn't know she was mentally ill, even though there's evidence to suggest he may have, I personally don't see that as like conclusive enough evidence to believe that like he would necessarily see that and reach the same conclusion that yeah, she suffers from a serious debilitating mental illness. But with like that in mind, right? Like you're taking advantage of probably the fact that like she would be a fan that would be, and I wouldn't use this term. There's a better term that could be used. But her like willingness to do what you want, to exploit or not exploit, to humiliate herself so that you can get content to react to. The problem with wording like exploitation, the problem with wording like taking advantage of, and the problem with saying that while simultaneously putting emphasis on the fact that she's a minor, so your average person is going to interpret that as like some sort of predatory behavior. It's not. It's just like a dick thing to do.
So I thought,
or do you not believe that? I mean, if that's what you're saying. If you're saying now that you don't believe that, then that makes sense. But if you think I actually was taking advantage,
if I had to defend,
we should actually just go full circle at this point. I should just go and like argue Morale's point for him
and the position,
and then a Cheeto should go and like take up.
I would say
no, Queeman should take a Cheeto's position.
Okay, the thing you got
you
out
don't
of it was
have
the
to. Why would you have to?
Why would you? Don't have to. I mean, okay, you don't have to do anything.
Would you say?
Let me fucking talk, piece of shit.
Okay, before you do this, Morale, wait. Just say what you think of your position.
Morale, you gotta. When you're like chill and like acting confused, like at the beginning, like that's 10 times more funny than you being like, you piece of shit, you motherfucker. Like that's like the beginning you were like actually funny. If you go and do this like gay yelling shit you do again, like it's gonna be so over, bro.
Just say what you think of your position back then. Do you think were you right? Were you wrong? How much were you right? How much were you wrong?
What I thought you were getting out of it was the gratification of the shrine. I didn't think you were getting content out of it specifically. I didn't think that was the thing that you were getting as your end goal. My thought process, at least at the time, was that you were getting the shrine out of it. That's what I thought.
Morale should just like join if someone's confronting him on a claim he's made, and like act like super confused, like he has absolutely no fucking idea what they're talking about. That would be very funny. We need more like Morale gaslighting.
Shrine itself?
Yeah, that was what you were getting your gratification out of, the little dopamine. You enjoyed the attention. You enjoyed the attention you were getting out of that. That's what I thought.
So how does that make sense if it's just one person and not like the potential 100,000 views I could get from the video that I didn't do? If your argument is that I wanted attention, I could have gotten 1,000,000,000% more attention by actually making a video that I didn't make.
And you could probably get a lot more attention by doing a mass shooting, but you're probably not going to do that either, right?
What the fuck?
No, the difference is that
okay,
what
because
you're saying
there's
makes no
obviously
sense
levels to it. There's obviously levels.
Dude, this guy is so awesome. I'm sorry for ever doubting him. I'm sorry for ever doubting this guy. I was wrong, man. I was wrong. I take it all back if he does the yelling stuff. Like, if he does that, we're done.
To it, attention from an individual is way different than attention from like an audience or a group, right? You're probably going to be more fulfilled by individual attention. I would think.
No,
anyway.
Are you stupid? This is my job. I would have made money doing it. That would have actually gotten. I would have actually
I'm
materially
not talking about
benefited
monetary
from making
gain. I'm not talking about monetary gain.
So you're just talking about this invisible gain that I get from watching
okay,
a 30-second clip of
let me
someone
try
doing
to let me
cringe
try to
content.
explain. Let me try to explain. Do you think Taylor Swift is
the Morale that's like not doing the forced yelling and like dog warts every like 25 seconds to be funny actually can be pretty funny?
more fulfilled by her husband and kids, or do you think she's more fulfilled by the audience she performs music to?
I have no idea. Maybe maybe she's
if
materialistic.
you have to if you had to give an answer, what do you think she's more fulfilled by?
I
do you
literally
think she's
have
more fulfilled by? I understand you don't have any idea. I want you to try to just think it through. Give me an answer if you had to. Do you think Taylor Swift is more fulfilled by her
Is she
family,
even
by her
married?
husband? In this hypothetical, she is. I don't give a fuck if she's married or not.
Like,
or do you think she's more fulfilled?
I did eat breakfast this morning.
What are we talking about?
Taylor Swift isn't even married. This is a completely irrelevant argument. Shut up. Answer the question. Do you think someone's more fulfilled by individual attention or audience attention? That's basically the crux of this.
It depends. You're asking me something that is completely circumstantial.
Okay, it depends on what. Explain your fucking thought process. Hold it. You can't engage with the hypothetical.
Because it's a fucking retarded. You're asking me
how would you feel
if I
if you
can
ate
read
breakfast
someone's
this morning?
mind.
Yeah, he's literally doing that though. That's like that's what he's like. That's the thing he's fucking doing.
How would I feel if I ate breakfast this morning?
He doesn't get it.
Probably fine.
He doesn't get it.
He did it. Awesome.
Okay.
You lost round.
Wow.
You just got
cool.
raped.
I got owned. Okay. You don't even have to engage then. You don't even have to engage. I will just explain to you my thought process. I would think that someone, based on
What the
personal
fuck are you
experience
talking
and things
about
that
right
I've read, things that I've heard, that someone would be more fulfilled by individual attention rather than audience attention. So in my mind, I had thought that you would have gotten fulfilled by this encounter. You would have enjoyed that attention that you received. in my thought process, the end goal wasn't necessarily the content. The end goal for you, again, in my mind, I'm not saying this is anything that you did. I had thought that the end goal was the attention that you got, right?
You still think that?
Yeah, I think you enjoyed the attention.
Yeah.
You might have to narrow down your question.
Exactly.
I'm sorry if that's
yeah,
not what you
it is a thing for him that is like to boost. He likes. No, it's more also about the no. Sorry, not the attention. It's the image. Queen was right. It's like the image and actually the attention. When I say ego, the attention would be like the boost to his ego. So I guess it is about the attention too.
Do you still at this moment think that I enjoyed that attention?
Yes.
That personal attention. Do you think I really got something from that individual interaction? Because I can sit here and tell you that I honestly did not. Like, and you're free to not believe that.
But you like that image of like having groupies and shit. Like you like that kind of image, right? I don't think it's necessarily super abnormal to be like a teenager or whatever and like that idea, right? But like, it just feels like a man child a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Most people would.
And
I
that's
think most
okay.
people would.
Who's your favorite comedian? I don't really watch comics, but I liked Key and Peele a lot when they did their skits. And I think for like classic comedians, Rodney Dangerfield's pretty funny.
If they reached out to someone and they're like, "Hey, make a shrine for me," whatever. I think
Well,
absolutely.
no, I didn't reach
100%.
out to her. I didn't reach out for her to make it.
You reached out on Twitter for someone to make it, and she responded.
No, I said for the Adia girl, I said, can you do one for me? Because she had done one for Tom, and I was going to use it for content. And then this other girl took matters into her own hands and made one. And then I asked her if she could record it.
Dude, Adia made like a fan edit for me, and I think I threatened to like ban her from the server for the rest of her fucking life.
Video of it for proof. Yeah, well, I'm just saying it again.
I 1000% believe that you enjoyed the attention you got from that. Yeah.
Yeah, anyone could see that.
But when you take it a step further, and like if you just want to believe that, then that's totally fine. But when you take it a step further and then you're labeling it as creepy and taking advantage of somebody, then I'm going to go ahead and say that that's insane. Because that's like saying, I mean, like if I enjoy the attention that when someone makes fan art of me, is that creepy and manipulative? No. What you're trying to do is because this person...
There's the difference with like fan art is you like appreciate the gesture because somebody put effort into showing their appreciation for you. This is very artificial. You're inciting this person to do this. Right? And you can say, oh, well, what about commissioning art? Well, you'd commission art because you'd seemingly have a purpose for it. Okay, well, what's the purpose with you inciting this person to do this? You want them to embarrass themselves so you can make content off of it. So it is like having them do something that ultimately would like be at their own expense. Right? If we're to take that this was purely about the content for you, then yeah, you can make an argument that it's exploitative, right? Although I wouldn't emphasize that word, once again, because it could be misleading. Is Cheetah just mad he can't get mentally ill women like Tom and now Loam? So I'm mad about that too, dude. All I get in my DMs is like mentally ill men. Who's this fucking Eduardo guy that's been DMing? I heard your back door is broken. I can come in and fix it. Yeah, I get some weird people in my DM. This guy's offered to make repairs to my back door.
And was female, and that she was younger, and
no,
that was
hold
now
on, hold on.
creepy and weird.
To clarify,
even though I was
I
going to
think
use
there's
it for
levels.
content.
I think there's levels to it, right?
Okay.
Fan art is one thing. I think there's like when I say intimacy, I hope you understand what I mean. I'm not saying intimacy like kissing or like romantic or sexual or anything like that. I hope you understand what I mean when I say intimate here.
As in, it's
but there are
between two
levels of
people.
intimacy to these things. Drawing fan art is obviously significantly different than making someone a shrine or doing something
I
like
understand
that.
that.
Right?
I understand
right?
that. I guess what I'm trying to say is that when you
Dude,
take...
I'm sorry. This is a side tangent. Nick Andros is gonna like... Hold on. I just want to... Real quick. He's got to tell this story. Hold on. Is he online? 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Oh my... This guy's like in Finland or some... Fucking living in ancient China. I can't pick up the phone. Alright, never mind.
Take it a step further, and then you're saying that I wanted the attention. That the attention that I get from this is somehow, in a way, like, more... I don't know, like, personal, and that I'm trying
No, Nick Andros had a funny story.
to go somewhere with that, right?
I don't think you necessarily have to go somewhere with it. I think you can though. But I don't my little game theory never surpassed like that situation, I think. Obviously,
I guess
I'm trying to remember my thought process from months ago, so I apologize.
That's okay. That's fine. I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you think that I was doing that for personal attention, that's if you want to, if that's what you believe my reasoning solely for it was, or maybe you think that it was multifaceted. Maybe you think that I wanted the attention as a cherry on top. I made some money on YouTube doing it. Maybe that's what you think. Or maybe you think that it was actually really creepy and that I was doing this in order to get some sort of sexual gratification or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if that's what you think. I don't know if your reasoning for all of this takes you to that direction. That's what it sounded like in the debate. But at the end of the day, all I can tell you is that I wanted this for content. You know, I wanted to make money off of this in the same way that a lot of YouTubers that I've watched before have used content like that in order to make videos. And I was very frustrated to hear you say that I was behaving inappropriately toward a mentally ill 16-year-old and taking advantage of her. That disturbed me. That wording is very charged, and it implies something that a lot of people have been saying.
Yeah, but I don't think that was the intentional implication. But there's a difference between like accidentally implying something because you're not the best at communicating and outright stating a falsehood.
Right?
Okay. I agree that it was charged, but can we let me open my notepad. What was the wording again? I'll write it down really quick so I don't forget it.
What you had said?
It was you just repeat it.
You said taking advantage of a mentally ill 16-year-old, and that it was weird and creepy, and I'd have to watch the whole thing that you said against Aiden or with Aiden again, but
I like Dangerfield because if you like heard like my grandfather fucking speak, he like just describing daily occurrences, he sounded like Dangerfield doing like the setup for a joke. My grandfather could have been like a professional live streamer had he been born in the right time. He's a very fucking funny guy.
I'm sure that
sounds mostly accurate. I'm sure we can work with this. So I've explained how I thought you took advantage of them. I think at least, right? Do you agree that it, at least from my perspective, look at it through my eyes, do you at least see how I could come to that conclusion?
Taking advantage?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so the entire discussion.
Morale's just Queeman. What Queeman should be doing, and I don't even think Queeman's in the room at this point. Just to let you know, there have been 3 streams where I've like gone into chat to like poke fun at Queeman and one guy and get a reaction, which may or may not be what I'm doing right now. But there have been 3 streams I showed up to like be like, this guy's never talking, dead air, and then I realized at some point trying to gauge a reaction, wait, this guy is not even in the fucking room. And I was right. 3 different times I've come to his streams and he was playing the content and he wasn't in the room. He just like wasn't there. He's like, sorry, I zoned out, or sorry, I had to go do something. So this guy puts on content, steps out, and makes like fucking $20.
Discussion we just had, I thought was about.
How is it taking advantage?
He actually won.
But I mean, yeah, but like you have to understand.
So you literally can't see. You cannot see any way how someone could read this in that way. You just can't see that.
But I didn't even reach out to her.
Cheeto, the previous discussion we just had was about the phrasing taking advantage of, and I explained to you how I had gotten to that conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think I'm lying?
No, I don't think you're lying at all. I still think when you say taking advantage
do you understand?
Right.
I'll explain it briefly again. And
honestly, this is going to get autistic, but I think we actually have to get into the semantics here.
So the way I think you took advantage of someone, right, was you have to have like an end goal. I thought the end goal was attention, gratification, individual attention, stuff like that. That's
what kind gratification is the worst word you could have used. This guy doesn't. I thought he was setting it up to like accurately articulate himself and what he actually meant, but he's still like using super loaded words. Like when you say gratification, you don't end it there. And in a case like this, where people can have certain takeaways and you're trying to clarify, you're not like trying to imply those takeaways, you need to like follow gratification up with something like gratification for your ego, to know that like people were like idolizing you, or like the having that like image of like somebody with like super fans. That was like very appealing to you because you like the image that people like Leafy and Tom were able to like cultivate.
I thought the end goal was, right? Do you understand how I could get to that conclusion? Do you understand what I'm saying when I say that?
Sorry, say that one more time. You cut out for me.
Dude, what is wrong with this guy's mic?
The way I think taking advantage works is you have to have an end goal, right? You have to have something you're trying to get out of it.
You're trying to get out of it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I thought what you had gotten, or what you wanted to get, was the attention, right? The gratification from that fan. Does that make sense?
Right.
Does that
gratification meaning what?
Yeah, exactly. You have to follow gratification. This guy just doesn't know how to articulate, and now I like know what he's saying. And in hindsight, the debate actually makes more sense to me. What he was trying to say. Morale is just like so fundamentally like bad at speaking that he like completely just like fucked himself in that conversation.
Okay, and that's what you thought I was trying to get from it?
At least one of the things, yeah. I think it can be true that you wanted content out of it as well, but I definitely think one of the things you wanted primarily was the
Sorry,
attention.
I have 2 seconds. I didn't unmute on OBS.
Were you in chat when I said the thing about the garbage man?
He was
He wasn't even in the room. I just made a joke about how this guy's never in the fucking room. He actually wasn't in the room again. See, the jokes write themselves at this point. I wonder if we do like a past analysis of Queeman VODs, if we could like calculate a percentage where it was like he was more than likely just like not actively like in the room. I wonder if we could like figure out how much of Queeman's streams is he actually present for.
To me saying that he wanted positive feelings from someone going to extreme
So basically,
lengths.
I think what
show affection for
maybe
him.
this will help you understand my intention here. There was a video I had made back in 2021. There was this guy going around commentary YouTube who basically you would pay him a little bit of money and he put a garbage bag on his head and he would basically
this guy was super mentally ill, by
yell
the
about
way.
how cringe somebody was, and it was like a personalized video, kind of like a cameo that you could use for content.
And when I was like a kid, I knew not to keep covering this guy because it felt like exploitative.
To me, this was very similar in the terms of fact. It's like a personal video directed toward me that I'm going to use for content.
It is similar, but in that case, you could even make the same argument Morale's trying to make right now, that you were like being exploitative.
Something I've done before, I didn't see it as any different. But I stopped doing it. I didn't actually release the video because I realized this person was seriously mentally ill, and I didn't like the way that it was coming across.
Sure. The reading that I got was that you knew their age and you knew that they were mentally ill, and you were still going through with the idea, right? You're still talking to them. That's the reading that I got. Obviously, I lacked the context that you had stopped talking to them because I never had interacted with this girl. I never wanted to interact with this girl. I wanted to have a level of disconnect. I don't want to talk to victims or in most cases even the perpetrators. I don't want to get that involved, right? So the reading that I got was that you knew their age and you knew that they were mentally ill and you didn't care.
Right.
Which is how I came to the conclusions.
I did not know that they were mentally ill. And in terms of the age, I don't even fully remember if I had known her age. I mean, to be honest, I don't think the age
matters.
Or let's speed this up here. Let's speed this up here. I don't got all fucking day.
Hold on.
It sounds like you guys are reaching a conclusion here.
It sounds like he's taking advantage.
If you're owed an
of a
apology by
540K
me, I think Sniper Wolf's owed an apology by you.
No, I mean I am sorry to Sniper Wolf. Like I should have done more research when I released the video, and I certainly shouldn't have doubled down.
Okay.
It was fucked up. Like,
I'm sorry. I'm genuinely sorry for my wording. Obviously being misinterpreted by everyone. That's obviously on me. If everyone is misinterpreting my wording, I think the fault 100% lies on me. And I obviously a lot of people came to the conclusion that I was alleging some sort of grooming or pedophilia or something like that, which is obviously bad. False allegations of that degree
all good,
are bad. So I apologize.
I actually just can't believe like how fundamentally bad Morale is at like conveying his own opinion. Like everything just makes so much more sense in hindsight. This guy just doesn't know how to speak.
That's just kind of it's all good, bro.
Amazing commentary. I'm like, I'm out of the room, man. I'm like Queeman, dude. I'm not here. I'm not here. Amazing commentary, Aiden. Amazing commentary. Wait, hold on. I gotta pull something up. One sec. One sec. All right, here's my commentary for you. Here, how about this? I'm doing the Queeman meta. How about that? Wait. Let's see. All right.
I just, when there's a wave of people saying shit about me, and it's just like not true, that's really.
While I have you, are you embarrassed of your content that you do?
My content, like my streams or my old stuff, like the commentary.
Probably streams, because you're hiding a lot of the VODs. I'm noticing. Is that for like
no, not at all.
Are you?
No, I think I run the risk of YouTube violating their reused content policy. Where I think if you look at like any big streamer, what they do is they either take clips from a different platform where they stream, or they hide their VODs. Because if a VOD is up and then you take basically a clip from the VOD and post it as a video, I think YouTube for some people they view it as reused content and they can take your video down. So I never want that to be the case. Like that's why Asmongold streams on Twitch, not YouTube, even though he has like he could probably get the same amount of viewers on YouTube because that's where most of his traffic comes from is his YouTube. So you'd think that he would just want to stream here, but on Twitch, I think it's better because there is it doesn't violate the policy. And I mean, I've been thinking about paywalling the VODs too, to be honest. So
were you upset by by people making fun of your messy bed?
Nope. I was upset that Aiden was dogpiling me. Make fun of my messy bed all you want. My bed is still
Okay.
messy.
Why? I mean, it seems like you've moved your setup, so it's pointed away from your bed now, and maybe.
I moved completely.
Ooh. Okay. I'm
I
guessing
don't
the
live there
setup's not going to go in front of the bed anymore then.
Oh, I have an office now.
Oh, big bucks. Big bucks. All right. Do you have any questions for me?
Nope.
Wow, I feel like this
Okay.
has come to an end.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Well,
Cheeto, I love you.
Zero. Have a good one.
God, fuck that guy. Am I right, Queeman? Oh shit, he's still here. What the hell?
I thought you were leaving.
okay. Was there anything else you want to talk about, or should I hash out with my?
we got super sidetracked with that. I think I said what I had to say. I'm glad that he was actually thoughtful about the conversation, and let's get some round W's in the chat.
So believe it or not, I actually just left the room just now. I literally just left the room. I wasn't even here. Alright, I'm trying to prove a point to the world. I was not even in the fucking room. Easiest. I'm just gonna start doing streams from not even there. Yeah, I am totally like out of it now, bro. We're probably gonna do the Nux stuff tomorrow, and I'll probably so tomorrow's stream we'll finish this. Where are we at? We're at 2:12. So tomorrow's stream we'll finish this, and then we'll do the Nux coverage. Wow, only 4 hours. Only sitting here for. Why aren't you sitting here for the rest of your fucking life? Yeah. All right. Well, and if you don't like it, go fuck yourself.